Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, do what Dre Raven says, and like the video, you douche nozzles.
A woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn. You lost your edge, she lost attraction for you. That's how it works. What'd you think she was gonna do? Tell you she cheated? Men cannot afford to get complacent in relationships. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights, and learn game. You're welcome.
And now your man,
Donovan Sharpe.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 959th edition of TSR Live, your daily dose of toxic masculinity, misogyny, and small dick energy. It is Wednesday, May the 17th of 2023. It is good to have you guys in today. As always, we are streaming live simultaneously to YouTube, Sharpe Stream, and Rumble. So however you are watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Live a part of your daily routine. Fantastic show for you guys in store today. I'm going to try to get through as much of that 4-hour debate podcast as I possibly can. I was told that it never got to a point of diminishing returns. So I was told that the entire discussion was legit, and so And so, yeah, good for, I'm very, very grateful for that. Just based on yesterday's assessment, as I adjust the picture, just based on yesterday's assessment, guys, it appears that cooler heads did indeed prevail. There we go. That's much better. It appears that cooler heads did indeed prevail, thanks in large part to Destiny himself. He laid out some ground rules that were going to be similar, that were similar to the ground rules that I wanted for my debate with him. And lo and behold, it is actually a productive conversation. It's actually a very productive conversation. So I'm very, very much looking forward to completing that. Let me read some of your comments here before we get started. Yes, by the way, I just texted Rollo. I told him that I'm going to plagiarize douche nozzle from him. So douche nozzle now belongs to me. I told him, look, I'm stealing douche nozzle. That belongs to me now. So shout out to Rollo Tomasi for supplying me with the most original, apropos, ad hominem attack I've ever heard in my life. Douche nozzle. Oh boy. Yeah, douche nozzle. Wow. Don't want to be you don't look. You don't want to be a douche nozzle. Douche nozzles probably don't smell too good. Oh, look at this. Your boy, dude, if y'all haven't noticed, your boy's hairline is extra crispy today. Matter of fact, if I do say so myself, your boy's hairline is looking extra crispy like a bucket of KFC chicken. Let's see. I've got all these screens here. Okay, there we go. All right. Luke, Red Pill Perry with the $5 super chat says, you did mention a few days ago that they wouldn't have the same energy in person. Yeah. I mean, I imagined they did. Yeah, of course they're not going to have the same energy when they're in front of each other. Now, that's not me. If I don't like someone, I'll tell them straight up, look, I don't really like you very much. I'm this dude, like I said, man, I'm the same guy on and off the camera. And so, look, I mean, for better or worse, right? So, all right, let's go ahead and get this party started. Like I did yesterday, guys, I'm going to play this at a 1.25 speed. I might even increase it to 1.5, maybe. Shout out to Oma with the $2 super chat. Says Don DeMarco for all the douche nozzles out there. Yes, sir. Don DeMarco for all the douche nozzles. I love it. Okay, let's get this party started here. Oops, sorry about that. I am still obsessed over the Shelby Cobra. By the way, fun fact, and I don't know how I didn't know this. I have no idea how I did not know this. Just bear with me here. I had no idea that you could have a custom-built Shelby Cobra. I had no idea. That you could custom build one. So there are multiple companies that build the shell. Basically, they put it on chassis. They put the shell, right? And the one that I want, right around $71,000, right? About 71. It'll probably end up at 75. The engine, the 457 block, the 457 small block, the 457 iconic small block manual transmission engine is a whopping $25,000. So I don't know. All said and done, all told, it'll probably cost me a little over $100,000, which to me, if we're looking at this right here, this one is $149,000. That's $149,000. So by getting one custom built with 0 miles on it, and yeah, it's going to take some doing. I'll have to find a reputable garage to install the engine and you know, get everything squared away. But yep, that's where I'm at. Dude, like this Shelby Cobra thing has absolutely It has absolutely like revitalized me. Holy smokes! All right, so enough of my wet dreams here. Let's go ahead and continue.
Deal say outstanding show, Myron and Fresh. Well done, brother. Salute to Destiny, Sneeko, Rolo, brother Myron, brother Michael. Why did you join the army? You would have made one hell of a paratrooper. The topic of divorce. Go ahead.
There we go.
Do you want to start with that?
No,
As far as like not living with a woman, I think is the main contention.
well, that's a Iron Rule Tomasi number 4.
yeah,
It's
you
like
say don't live with a woman, and you disagree.
No, I'm
with
saying
that,
don't live with the woman unless you plan to marry her within the next 6 months. Because what happens, and the reason why I put that in the book in the first place is because there's a rash of guys who just get together and they want to live with their wives or their girlfriends, right? In that situation, think, oh, it's great. We'll get rent paid, and then I'll have sex with the utilities. I'll have hot and cold running water, and I'll get laid when I want to. And what happens is these guys will go and put their name on a lease with that woman, and then things didn't work out for them. But the woman, her impression is, well, he wouldn't be signing this lease for a full year unless like he was really, really serious about me.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I might actually release Devin. Make a note of this. Make a note of this. I might do a free ebook. I think I might do a free ebook labeled "The 6 Rules for Cohabitation," because it can be done. Having a good cohabitating relationship can be done. It's not easy. It is not easy, but it can be done. So make a note of that, Dev, if you would. I appreciate it.
And so essentially, you lose all leverage. You lose all the urgency. You lose the nature of the sex goes down.
Mm-hmm.
The frequency of sex goes down. That's actually why that's why I made that a rule. So,
do you disagree with that? Living with a woman?
Yeah, completely. I don't know how much you want to go on this topic.
Please take it away.
I don't know how that relates to divorce though.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I feel like living, if for no other reason, I think living with somebody is nice because splitting bills is really nice. You brought up something interesting.
Yeah, I don't split bills. No, Devin and I, we don't split bills. We did in the beginning, not anymore.
I'm not familiar with this research directly, but I'm going to extrapolate this to what I do know. You mentioned that around 2008, when apps and iPhones
Chris, can
and
you
all this
pull that
stuff.
up? It's really easy to find. It's the GSS survey. It's in the University of Chicago, I think. Do you remember who did it? The one that shows that 33% of men with zero sexual
Oh yeah,
partners.
and then by the way, that's like we keep like using that over and over again. I see Adam Sosnick quote this all the time, but it's like there's so many others like data points in that survey.
This is something that I'm going to bring up because you guys are all old enough to remember something else really big happened in 2007, 2008.
The subprime mortgage crisis.
Holy fuck! And one of the biggest indicators for men being able to get out and get married and have sex and everything is having your own place.
Yeah.
And our ability to work, holy fuck, if you were working at the time, you saw benefits and pay get cut like none other. It was hard to find jobs. Housing became completely fucking unaffordable. In 2007, buying a house from that point on became very, very, very difficult for the next few years. So it wouldn't surprise me if virginity rates or it's not virginity actually, but not having a sexual partner rates probably grossly increased for that year because
No. Look. I understand the premise where Destiny's coming from, and look, there is some validity to what he's saying. I'm sure that those of you who are old enough to remember, I was around during the recession. I actually had my mattress business during the recession, and I kicked ass. I did well, man. I was delivering mattresses in my Ford Expedition. Gas was like $5.25 a gallon. I was all over the place, and I still made money. So maybe I was the exception to the rule, but the point is yes, I'm sure that the 07, 08, housing crisis recession had a little bit to do with it, but that doesn't mean that guys were that doesn't mean that guys were getting laid at a higher rate, right? Yes, the recession certainly affected a lot of things, as did the pandemic, right? But but recession doesn't change a woman's short-term sexual strategy. It doesn't change a guy's short-term sexual strategy. Just because the housing bubble burst doesn't mean guys aren't still trying to get laid, right? And we're talking about long-term relationships, but strictly strictly just talking about sex and sexual access, I don't think the housing crisis had anything to do with it.
because everybody was stuck at home.
So
we had really
while I agree that maybe a part in the beginning, if you look at the scale, it starts in 08 and it ends in 18.
Sure.
At 18, it gets up to almost 30%. So
there you go.
Or from 2015 to 2018, I don't think that has anything to
Yeah.
do with the subprime mortgage crisis.
There
I
you
think
go.
it has
Thank
way
you.
more to do with the phone and specifically
Thank you.
Dunbar's number.
Thank
What's
you.
happened is these people now have unlimited options, whereas their brain was developed through evolution for 150 people. Now they have options to everyone and everything they can see. They message Drake. Drake messages them back.
There you
They
go.
fuck Drake, and now the girl thinks that Drake is the baseline for what she can date. And now
Bingo. Guys, the worst thing to happen to relationships, two things, was the smartphone and social media. And the reason for that, Certain just laid it out perfectly. Women have always had endless options. They've always had endless options. The difference is now they're aware of them. They can pick up their phone and get access to anybody on Instagram. They can message Drake, Elon Musk, rappers, athletes, football players, basketball players. You get instant access. Just regular humdrum run of the mill girls. They get lucky and James Harden smashes them out, and they think that James Harden is the baseline. And so now they're ruined. No, you're a basic bitch. James Harden is not wifing you up. He pounded you out, and he sent you home. He flew you out, pounded you out, and sent you home, and then went to the strip club to find a replacement. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Sertain just explained that perfectly.
Now, the next guy who's alpha widowed after that has to deal with that. And I know it may seem like it's anecdotal. I just see this hundreds of times where girls will say, yeah, I was dating so-so and an NBA player. And you've probably seen this too. And you're like, no, you fucked him once. You're not dating him. I know his wife.
Right.
You got to fuck a couple of times. Yeah. And it skews the data set so much to where you have women and they come on these shows and like, hey, I'm a 10 and this is what I deserve. And you're like, wow, this is crazy. I get it that you fucked an NBA player, but like now you've confused yourself into thinking like this is what the world is going to be like for you. Social media led to that, and I think it's specifically done.
Not only that, one of the many things that modern women mistake for one another is they mistake sexual attraction for relationship attraction, right? Women are always going to have more short, mid, and long-term options than men. That's just always the way it's been. It's always the way it will be. However, today's modern women, they think that just because men want to smash them, that these men also want to commit, and nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. We see all these women on Fresh of It all the time. Well, I could have any man I want. Yeah, you could have any man you want, but can you keep any man you want? Listen, man. Any girl can hit up an athlete or a rapper, anybody in the industry, as Kevin Samuels used to like to say, on the right time and the right day. Right? A dog shines on a sun's ass, or whatever the case may be. A squirrel finds a nut. Broken clock is right twice a day. Okay, got it. But your ability to retain these high status, high value men, that's the trick. Getting laid is easy for women. It's getting the ring that impresses us. There's a reason why girls go crazy when their friend says, I'm engaged, and then guys' friends, when they say they're engaged, are like, oh boy, here we go. Getting laid for guys, that's the skill. We can have relationships all we want to. It's the sex that we want. Girls, they can get all the sex they want. It's the relationship they want.
Because I know where you're going to go with this. So before you get there, because I'm going to hit on you for 1 second here, because this was you.
Damn. So 30% for the Dubai number.
30%. So because I want to clarify this, because I think this will just save us some time here. So you were on the show here, and you guys were having this back and forth about what's the percentage of college co-eds are getting flown out to yacht parties with Drake or NBA players and stuff like that. And you guys said 30%. I'm like, oh god, no, it's not 30%, but it's not who's actually being flown out there. It's the perception that those girls saw that other bitch got flown out there, and so the possibility exists, at least in that woman's sort of hindbrain, that could happen to her, and so therefore the perception of it affects that local sexual marketplace. Because if the girl thinks that might happen, she's gonna put off these other guys, like real guys,
right,
on the off chance that maybe somebody is going to fly her out somewhere else. So, and by the way, that's just one isolated incident. So when we're talking about perception online, like the one thing you want to talk about, like 2008 up to where we're at right now, it's the perception of opportunity. It's the perception of abundance. It's the perception of a overinflated sexual market value as a result of seeing all these women who women think are comparable to.
Again, sexual market value. There's a big difference between sexual market value and relationship market value. And the way it goes with modern women generally is the higher their sexual market value, typically the lower their relationship market value. The hotter the girl, the more useless she is. I've said this, dude. I said this back in 2017. Hot girls in general are useless because they've never had to be useful. They've never had to be useful. That's why they're useless. But girls who did not hit the genetic lottery, they're more inclined to develop themselves outside of the way they look to make themselves more viable for a long-term relationship option with men. That's generally the way it goes. That's how it goes. They can, and here's the thing: if a girl is not so good in the face, if she hits the gym, has a good, nice, tight, toned body, still have any man she wants. She can still have any man she wants.
Them, and they're getting that treatment. So
yes, Dr. B84 says SMV does not equal RMV. Real talk.
Possibility exists that they could get it too. Hopefully that shortens things up a little
so bit. I understand this theory, but I disagree with it completely. But I don't know if we want to go, because I think we're going to get back into this later. Do we have a particular topic we want to talk about, or do you want to talk about dual mating purposes?
We can hit. Yeah, I think it's a segue.
Yeah, because that
ends the vasectomy discussion right there.
God, please, dude, no more vasectomy. Thank you, Myron. Thank you.
Okay, we can go into the dual mating strategy, and in this case, it's going to be the classic alpha fucks, beta bucks, the dual mating strategy of women that basically, you know, they have sex according to heat with that really tall, nice looking guy, right, the Chad, and then they go ahead and get with the other guy for his resources, the beta bucks.
Can I reset this from a scientific standpoint?
Yeah,
so
ahead,
this is in The Evolution of Desire by Dr. David Buss. In that original copy, it's called the dual mating strategy. Later on, when he writes the book When Men Behave Badly, he changes his opinion to what's called a mate switching strategy. So, and the reason why he does that is because they do a survey and find out that 83% of women who cheat on their husbands fall in love with their affair partners. It is below 30% for men. So something that's statistically different would show that when women cheat, it is to find a new head coach. When men cheat, it's to rearrange the roster.
Woo! Oh, wow. Wow. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? 83% of the time when women cheat, they fall in love with their affair partner. Less than 30% for men. When men cheat, we're looking to rearrange our roster. When women cheat, they're looking for a new head coach. That is, Jesus, this guy Surtain is on fire. Holy cannoli. Holy smokes. Honestly, man, I might need to reach out to this dude to speak at the CME, because this guy's a superstar. Holy God.
So that's essentially what he's saying with that whole thing. Now, Roland actually disagrees.
He even does what I do with that wire. Anyone who's ever been on Fresh and Fit, and you're wearing the headphones, it's the headphones are plugged into something down there. Myron's got that all wired up, but it gets a little tight, right? There's not much slack. So what I do to keep my, to keep the slack off is I pull on that wire down there, kind of wrap it around so that my head can move freely. But Jesus, this guy is on fire.
Agree on this a little bit. I believe more in the mate switching strategy. He has mentioned before about the dual mating strategy. The thing is, I don't think it's 100% one way or the other.
They can coexist.
There's too many women that I know that are absolutely have a sugar daddy while fucking Brock the bartender at the same time. So
that's still alpha fucks beta bucks though, Surtain. The sugar daddy is the beta bucks. The alpha bartender is the alpha fucks, right?
Again, it's just anecdotal, it's not statistic, but I think both of them exist. Whether or not it's 85-15 or 50-50, I'm not really sure.
Okay, this is going to be a really important center point for this discussion, because in my opinion, almost all of Rollo's praxeology is going to be built off of this alpha fucks, beta bucks idea. That a ton of stuff, hypergamy is built off of it, the way the relationships work are built off of it, what men and women are after, the dual sexual strategy. So you guys are not in congruence with how you feel on that. You disagree.
The difference is, so we'll just say Alex the alpha and Bobby the beta. She's dating Bobby the beta. Now the question is, in both strategies, she fucks Alex the alpha, but in one of them, she fucks him to leave because she's dissatisfied with Bobby the beta, and in the other one, she fucks Alex the alpha to get his genetics and stays.
Bingo.
Sure. So the underlying question then is, do you believe that women biologically are employing the dual sexual strategy?
Subconsciously,
absolutely.
Yes, because men do this. Again, the converse for men would be the 40-year-old guy, 50-year-old guy who goes through a midlife crisis. I don't know if you've seen these studies. When women go through menopause, that's when men go buy the Ferrari. They've shown this, men can actually sense when women go through menopause, and so that would be the same. That would be the equivalent for men. So yes, do I think women do?
Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Guys, Devin's 46 years old. She turns 47 in August. Menopause is right around the corner. And what am I looking to buy? Man, I'm trying to tell you. And listen, man, I don't think I'm going through a midlife crisis. And I think, to me, midlife crisis is shaming language. A midlife crisis that's something that women came up with. Oh, he's going through a midlife crisis. No, we're not going through a midlife crisis. No, we are now taking advantage of the fruits of our labor that we worked the last 5 decades to attain. You guys want to shame us for being more attractive to younger women as a result of our experience, the salt and pepper in our beard, etc., etc. That's the way that goes. But yes, that's when men go buy the Corvette, the Lamborghini. In my case, I want to go buy the Shelby Cobra. This dude literally just described our relationship. Unbelievable.
I think they do it subconsciously, and I think it's strictly because of their evolution.
Okay.
And Michael?
Go ahead.
Oh, here's the
there it is.
stats.
Yeah, you see from 2008 to 2018, it shoots up to 28% of men. Chris Williamson had a comment before. He thought it was in the 40s now. He thinks that number has gotten up even higher.
I agree.
In 2018, but that's a pretty statistically viable number right there to go from 16% to 28% in the course of 20 years.
And I should also point out that that's one demographic cohort, the 18 to 30. If you go beyond that, it still tracks. It's just not as significant.
Of course. Devin says, my dad bought a Honda Prelude. Well, Devin's dad doesn't do as well as I do, but Devin's dad is cool.
Yeah, I'm curious how much that correlates to housing prices, because I know that like housing has become like.
And I'm curious to how that correlates to Alpha Fucks Beta Bucks. I'm not really sure what that has to do with it. Oma with the $5 super chat says, biologically, women are hardwired to find the best mate possible. Sertain just explained it fantastically. Bars on bars. This is mentally stimulating. I wish, honestly, man, Sertain's got talent. Like, he is unbelievable. Like, the way he is able, like, you know what Sertain is? Sertain is the Rollo Tomasi translator. Rollo Tomasi's got a master's degree in psychology or some crazy psychological degree or something like that. He'll if Rollo's watching, he can correct me if I'm wrong, but he's got some sort of psychological degree. Like, he understands human behavior, right? And Rollo, the way he explains things, like, you can understand it, but he goes way, 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 way deep. Sertain is able to condense it so that the layperson can understand. You know what I mean? It's not like he dumbs it down. He just simplifies it. He simplifies, like, he'll take an entire Rollo Tomasi chapter or book and there you go.
Increasingly unaffordable, and a lot of the issues for people
having a place helps you not get laid. 100%.
Yes, yes, I do agree with that.
It's a very big success indicator for a successful marriage as well. So, okay, into the dual mating hypothesis. So, firstly, I want to ask, what is an alpha male to you guys?
Great. So,
same as a high value guy.
Would you admit, like, when we talk about, and we're going to start from the taxonomy here: elephant, bull, seals, tigers, lions, silverback gorillas. In those cases, would you admit that there is an alpha male,
of
at
course.
least in those in biology in those cases?
Yes.
Again, it's okay. So at least we understand that there is something. So here's where the confusion comes. If I'm having my birthday party, I've noticed whenever I have my birthday party, I get more attention from my friends and from women in general because they see other women paying attention to me. In that moment, contextually, I am alpha. When we leave that and we go into a club to watch Calvin Harris, all the girls now stop paying attention to me. They see Calvin Harris go on stage.
Hashtag let's go.
He is now contextually alpha. That's how I define alpha male. I don't know if you...
Wait, let me catch that. What was the definition there? Like, what is, and I'm not trying to get you like, what is a, give me 16 words. Like, in general, like, what is an alpha male? Actually, I'll give you my perspective. This is what I'm confused on, and then you can talk around this, okay? My confusion is so earlier we agreed that I think high value men are people in general that can partition resources. And in the broadest of senses, are people that can partition resources. But it feels like when you guys talk about alpha males, there's this weird kind of like double speak happening where alpha males are, Rollo mentions the pool boy a lot. And we look at the pool boy, so the woman wants
the pool boy or the hot guy at the foam cannon party
to fuck the pool boy while she's dating the poor beta bucks guy. But I feel like the beta bucks guy, more often than not, fits the definition of like a high value man or an alpha male. He's somebody that usually commands a lot of resources, partitions them, is relatively successful, displays a level of competency. Whereas the pool boy would be the beta. He's poor. Yeah. I don't want to say a loser, but if he's like 18, he can be a pool boy. But if he's like a 35-year-old pool boy guy and he's got nothing else going on in life, he's like a loser. But somehow in that situation, it feels like we're calling him like the alpha fucker versus the beta bucker. Like, so what is the alpha?
Generally,
that's okay. That's a good observation. That's a very good observation by Destiny.
Because so the whole pool boy like scenario there, it's usually the rich husband who wife's at home just lounging around the pool and she's fucking the pool boy. Okay, I mean every porn movie starts that way, right?
Here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. And I want to make this very, very clear. The whole there are levels to the alpha fucks beta bucks. There are. It's not. Don't get me wrong. There are definitely definitions. There are definitely boundaries, and there is definitely a line of demarcation in there somewhere. It varies from person to person, woman to woman, but by and large, they're the same. The deal goes with this. The example that Rolla just gave. The rich guy whose wife is fucking the pool boy, right? Just because you're rich and you have a wife does not mean she wants to fuck you. Just because let's just say you're worth 10 figures, you've made it, decent looking guy, whatever the case may be, you marry the young hot girl, blah, 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 blah. Just because you're taking care of her does not necessarily mean she wants to fuck you. Oh, Amanda found herself an alpha male. Amanda found Alex the alpha. He is, he's rich, he's successful, he's competent, etc., etc. Right? But resources don't make women want to fuck you. It makes women want to commit to you, but it doesn't necessarily make them want to fuck you. Now, they may fuck you to get access to those resources, and that might work. But once she gets access to the resources, as the man, you still have to remain sexually attractive to your significant other who is living with you. It's just, and listen, men, we pull the fat bomb too in relationships. Now, women will give us a little more leeway in terms of our weight because we bring a little more to the table. If you're paying the bills, if you're paying the bills and she drives a nice car, like an hour situation, right? Devin's going to give me naturally, subconsciously, a little more leeway in the way of my physique, because that's, my physique is part of, at least with the height, it's part of why she's attracted to me, right? But our lifestyle is another reason why she's attracted to me. But she's got to be aroused. She's aroused by the pool boy, right? So just because you're your wife committing to you, or your woman committing to you because you're a man of means, that's great. That does not necessarily mean she still wants to fuck you. She wants to fuck the pool boy because he looks good. She wants to fuck the mailman because he's, a physical specimen. Or in the oil shake, she was married. Perfect example. Derek the Trader and I are we're actually working on a live stream about this. Where there was an oil sheik whose wife cheated on him with the bodyguard, right? The oil sheik is worth, hundreds of billions of dollars, or whatever the case may be. Clearly, the bodyguard was not. Well, she was attracted to her husband for his resources, but she was aroused by the bodyguard. You still want your woman to want to fuck you. Just because you have money does not equal arousal. You understand what I'm saying? It equals attraction. It equals commitment. But it does not equal, just because a woman is committed to you does not mean she wants to fuck you. She's not going to fuck you with the same ferocity as she might fuck the pool boy or the bodyguard.
But it's primarily because the pool boy represents the peak as far as like alpha fucks is concerned, whereas the husband or the rich guy who has provisioning, protection, and parental investment, he represents long-term security to that woman. Whereas for lack of a better word, the pool boy, right, the guy who's the hot guy that she's aroused by, she still wants to fuck that guy. Although we want to say that, well, the guy who's got all this money, we're going to say, well, relatively speaking, if that guy is rich and he can provide for long-term security, logically he would be the one to choose. But yet we still see her cheating with the pool boy, right?
There you go.
So what happens is you've got alpha fucks and beta bucks, and so usually what happens is, like, would women?
That's exactly what Sertain just said. Sertain just said, well, it's not necessarily alpha fucks, beta bucks, because I know women with a sugar daddy and she's fucking the hot bartender. That is literally alpha fucks, beta bucks. But here's the rub. Here's the rub. 7,500 years ago, alpha fucks and beta bucks were the same guy. Most guys back then were confident, they were manly, they were masculine, they wanted to take care of their women, right? And they were also resourceful. High-level guys, high-level thinkers, could make good money. Feminism has split the man in two. Feminism is the reason for alpha fucks, beta bucks. The reason why there is a dualistic mating strategy is because of feminism. Feminism and the government has essentially made men irrelevant in terms of provisioning. The state is now the new husband, boyfriend, caretaker, etc. So women don't really need men for resources because they rely on the government for the resources.
Love to have both of those together. Yes, of course.
Right, exactly. But you can't find that in the same man anymore because it's now split.
They would like to have the complete package. You'll hear women say that all the time.
Thank you.
But this is just me spitballing here, but like right now, I think, in particularly because women have entered into the workforce, because they have educations, because they have basically become the men that they wanted to marry. They don't need men anymore. They want men. Who do they want? They want Brock the bartender. They want the pool boy because he represents the hot fun sex, the short-term, sexual genetic benefits.
Adria Raven says that's why the sultans had eunuchs guard the harems. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
They don't need it because they can take care of that shit for themselves.
I guess what I'm not understanding, and this is what I don't know if there's a way to reconcile this. It feels like,
let me just define really quickly, because everybody's going to like lose their shit on this. But like whenever we talk about like alpha, beta, whatever, and if we want to get into sociosexual hierarchies,
they're just short. That's short terms.
I only ever use alpha and beta because it just distills these things down to placeholder terms.
Thank you. Placeholder terms, shorthand. Alpha and beta. It's shorthand for men. Alpha is a placeholder. Shorthand for men that men want to be and women want to bang, and beta is shorthand for the opposite. That's pretty much it.
So I don't think that human males are like silverback gorillas, right, or wolves on the Arctic tundra, or something like that. Okay.
Do you understand? The day she got married, the alpha was the guy she married. And
I understand what you're saying, but because you're making this appeal to evolutionary biology, but when we look at alphas in other species, those alphas are never, or very rarely, are they the way that we describe alphas in society.
Well, that's because we as humans have the ability to reason. There's much more. There are many more dimensions to the social hierarchy with regards to human beings and other species. That's why we're the dominant species, because we have the ability to reason on 30 some odd different levels. Whereas out in the jungle, it either is or it isn't. There's no morals in the jungle. There are no morals in the jungle.
Right. That's what I'm
There's
saying.
not like
That's exactly what I'm saying.
There is no silverback gorilla who's the alpha who like runs into the forest, comes back, fucks a woman, and then leaves, right? These guys are very pro-social. They're leaders for primates, especially. Not just dominance, though. There's a lot of prestige as well. There's a lot of like mutual grooming that goes on with gorillas, right?
Primates, yes.
Primates, yes. So for instance, like being pro-social, grooming other primates are all very important. Because regardless of how strong or alpha you might think a chimpanzee is, 2 or 3 others are going to kill him if he's an asshole. Nobody's going to want to follow that guy. There is no such thing.
Because beta males form coalitions to take down.
There you go. Beta males will form coalitions to kill the alphas. And this is what happens with pew-pews. Mass pew-pews, 1870, etc., etc. That's why these things happen. It's because these quote-unquote beta males, these incels, men, are constantly marginalized by society.
Absolutely. With Silverback, it's a little different. He's not as pro-social. He doesn't want any other males around at all. But yeah, I do understand what you're saying. I think that the difference, like I said before, is we're just using it as a placeholder. Alpha just means more than beta. It doesn't mean anything else.
Okay, sure. And I can accept that, but I would fight you if I was in a fighting mood. That would be a lot different because we're very clearly drawing from the animal kingdom.
Yes.
So when we use those words,
because we're animals. Because we're
I
animals.
understand, but the way that
frame of reference.
Yeah, I understand. But alpha male in the animal kingdom would be like the beta lawyer guy. That would be the alpha male. The guy that is just the pool boy would be the lowest of the low in the animal kingdom. He would probably be excised from the group and he would just die.
Alpha fucks is short term. Beta bucks is long term. See, again, women have dual mating strategies. They have a short term mating strategy in their 20s. They fuck the hot. When women are younger, here in 2023, because of feminism and the social and all of the narrative being pushed, when women are young and fertile, they prioritize physical genes. They prioritize physical genes, the height, the six-pack, blah 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 blah. When their sexual market value starts to decline, or when they start buying their own drinks in the club, or when they have to pay to get into the club, or when they're not as visible, when they're not getting as many looks from guys as they used to, now their standards come down. Now they realize, okay, I'm not as attractive to the genetically superior men that I used to be attractive to. So now I've got to lower my standards. And when she lowers her standards, that's when she now prioritizes the resourceful genes. So when women are young and fertile, and again, this is not the way it's supposed to be. Because again, feminism split them up. But when women are young and fertile, they prioritize physical genes. When they're out of their sexual prime, they prioritize the resourceful genes.
In his law firm, he contextually is the alpha male.
Right.
When the girls have girls' night and go to Thunder from Down Under, he's no longer the alpha male. Contextually, that's going to change.
That's fine, but that context you're talking about, that doesn't exist in the animal kingdom. The alpha is always the alpha. He doesn't change to the alpha depending on the scenario.
Because the silverback gorilla is always the strongest male until he isn't. And that's the reason why it doesn't change. And there's so many other factors that go, and I agree with you, there's so many other factors that go, yes, Homo sapiens are so much more complicated than
And I just said that. We're much more complicated than silverback gorillas.
But the thing is, the only reason when we say alpha, it is a placeholder from this point now. And
it's shorthand. That's all it is.
Then it changes whenever. It's almost holding alpha is like holding a puff of smoke in your hands. It's there for a few minutes and then it goes away. And so it's almost like getting on a hot streak when you're playing basketball.
Destiny, I'm going to make a book suggestion for you real quick because this is a lot. I think we're both drawing from the same place. There's a really great book. It's called Alpha God by Dr. Hector Garcia. I would highly suggest. You would really like that book.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, there might be. Okay. So then I just want to fixate then on this, that when we say alpha beta, when we're talking about like humans, it really has nothing to do with like alpha beta in terms of animal kingdom stuff.
It has to do with more or less.
Sure. Okay. That's fine. So it's the same words, but no drawing. Because like an alpha for humans, a lot of the times, for instance, we're focused on like dark triad or like antisocial personality traits, right? Like the alpha, like drug dealer.
Because that's the result in the end for coming back, but that's not always the case. The quarterback of the football team can have nothing but integrity and care about his teammates, but he's still an alpha.
There are scoundrel alphas, and there are like the leaders of industry. The guy
and I would agree with that, but the star football player is the alpha in the traditional animal sense, and that he's also probably a good leader. He's very pro-social. He takes care of his teammates. He's not just out there being a dominant, like fuck you, I'm gonna kill you.
So he doesn't have to be dark triad, but he could because if we're in a situation where we're all of a sudden fighting the zombies, we're going to want the dark triad guy. He's going to be.
You better believe it.
Be willing to do the most violence to some extent.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think you're not gonna want the guy that's gonna feed random people to the zombies because he's bored. Didn't they do that in The Walking Dead where the guy like beat people to death with a bat? I don't know if you want that guy as your fucking leader. You know?
Maybe not.
Well, that's what they were talking about. There are douche nozzle alphas, and then there are moral alphas, of course.
Negan, but the other whatever they do with the pistol, I forgot what his name was. Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but you are going to want the guy who is going to be willing to do the most violence.
And the guy that bashes people's head in. Listen, he was an asshole, but guess what? For better or worse. For better or worse, women will flock to that guy because number one, he shows the capability. He shows the capability and willingness for violence to keep him and his protected. So yeah, the guy with the bat, I forgot what his name is. I had stopped watching it by then. Yes, right, Negan, right. There are Negans, but guess what? Negans serve a purpose too, right? We can't always be Andrew. We can't always be Andrew. Listen, there are Andrews, and then there are Negans. Then there are Merles. Then there are Merles, and then there are the bow and arrow guy. I haven't watched this in so long. But yes, douche nozzle alphas. There it is, DNAs. Douche nozzle alphas. Yes, there's more than one kind of alpha in the world. That's for sure.
Feel the least guilt about it.
I try to like make comparisons here with like the alpha archetype. So like if you would look at like say Captain America, alpha.
There you go.
Look at Iron Man, also alpha.
But
they're different kinds of alphas. If you got Superman, you've got Batman. Batman's the Dark Knight. He's the vigilante, and he's a hero in the dark. But then you've got the truth, justice, and the American way. So
yeah, and Superman is physically alpha. Mentally, he's beta. But he can be mentally beta because he's invulnerable. He's invincible, and everybody knows it. He could be the biggest beta on the planet. He could be the absolute biggest beta on the planet. Doesn't matter. He's Superman. He's indestructible. Nobody can kill him, defeat him, whatever, unless they have green kryptonite. At which point, then whoever has the green kryptonite is now the alpha. Batman is the alpha. He's an alpha male. Batman is the alpha male. Superman is the beta.
However, I will say all those guys that you described, I would agree because they partition resources. But the really confusing thing for me is when we talk about alpha fucks, beta bucks, where the alpha here is somebody that cannot partition resources, which doesn't make sense from
the pool boy. The pool boy.
Because the pool boy is not an alpha in literally any sense.
Because alpha, yeah, okay.
Because he serves a different purpose.
Yeah, so his resources is different. It is his V-shaped torso and his height and his sexual appeal to her. It's just a different resource.
There you go.
When you think about it, there is no analog for money in the Pleistocene epic, right? Money, what we use today is just competency.
Pleistocene epic. I know you always say that so sorry.
Wow, this guy is unbelievable. This guy is unbelievable. Guys, subscribe to Michael Certain. I mean, I'm a nobody, but Jesus Christ.
Sorry. So the thing is, there's the analogy for competency today is money. That's why women are attracted to it. It doesn't make sense because money didn't exist during the Pleistocene epic. So why is it that women are attracted to money now?
Because
the reason why is because it's an allegory for competency. So back then, the competency for somebody who grew up. Let's go all the way back to the 13th century. Genghis Khan, the man with the broadest shoulders who could swing the sword the hardest. Women are going to be more attracted to him. What is his resource?
Just like Negan.
Resource is the ability to conduct violence on her behalf to protect her offspring. And so that's why when we see the pool boy, well, not we, but the wife sees the pool boy, she sees him as more of a physical protector.
Yes,
subconsciously, not consciously.
I understand what you're saying, and it's a nice story, but I don't think it lines up at all. I don't think that because there's no genetic attractiveness to somebody that can't partition resources.
Yeah,
historically,
yes, there is. This is why, of course, there. Listen to what he said.
I don't think that because there's no genetic attractiveness to somebody that can't partition resources.
Yes, there is. Oh, there is absolutely genetic attractiveness for someone who can't partition resources. The ain't shit niggas of the world who have 5 baby mamas and he still gets pussy, that guy can't partition resources, but he still fucks girls on the regular. Right? He still fucks girls on the regular. Guys, we all know. We all hear stories. And we know the girls. We see them on Fresh and Fit. Yeah, my boyfriend, 6'4", but he lived with his mom. I was with him for 3 years. Yeah, that's because he was 6'4". Right? Girls, again, I think Destiny, and I think at some point he'll figure this out. There is a difference between attractiveness and arousal, and there's a difference between being attractive and arousing. The pool boy is arousing. The rich guy is attractive. That's the difference.
Yeah, historically speaking, in terms of but that can only sometimes be a proxy for it, right?
A lot of women. Okay, so here's
women. Listen, and Destiny's 100% wrong here. Women are attracted to douchebag losers all the time. Douchebag losers all the time. As long as they're hot, it doesn't matter. So there is absolutely a genetic attractiveness that doesn't involve resources. There's resource competency, and then there is protection competency. We as men, we try to be the best of both, to try to be as close to the alpha fucks and beta bucks as we possibly can. But for Destiny to say that there's just no genetic attraction for for men who can't, partition resources. Oh, no. Absolutely not. Dude, these ain't shit niggas, these ain't shit dudes out here making people with randoms, and girls cannot get enough of those dudes.
Here's the reason why. Let's go back to the science. 20% of men on it's the top 10% of men on Tinder are getting 63% of the right swipes, and it's because of their physical attractiveness.
Yeah, but that's a super unique environment, because that's like one man to every, or one woman to every 5 men.
No. But there are 75 million active users on Tinder. To me, that's a pretty goddamn good data set. 75 million. You can't say that that's a no. Tinder is a very, very good indicator for these things, because women don't swipe right on men they're not attracted to. That's just all there is to it.
Just talking to millions and millions of people.
Yeah, but it's still
Thank you. 75 million to be exact. And it might even be more than that now.
The women there are going to be selective in ways that they never would be in normal society. When you're on a 5-to-1 discrepancy there.
If we were to look at Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge and the total usage compared to the population, it's a pretty significant number
of
women that are attracted to men just because of their physical attractiveness.
Absolutely not. And you know this if you've hung around women, because if you go into, for instance, if you go to any workplace,
did you hear?
Because of Bumble and Hinge and the total usage compared to the population, it's a pretty significant number of women that are attracted to men just because of their physical attractiveness.
Absolutely not. And you know this if you've hung around women, because if you go into, for instance,
Destiny is under the impression that he is under the impression that as long as you can provision, as long as you can make money, then girls are going to be attracted to you. Destiny thinks that your physical genetics has nothing to do with attraction. But what he doesn't realize, again, is that there is a difference between attraction and arousal.
you go to any workplace, everybody's fucking. Always, right?
But like, not always, but yeah.
Well, hold on, I'm sorry. In the low-level place I work, McDonald's, restaurants.
This is a workplace.
No comment.
You can go into any workplace that's not fresh and fit, right? You go to like restaurants, you go into kind of like working class shit, everybody's fucking.
He's
if you
right.
go into schools, a lot of
But the hottest girl is generally going to go after the dude who has the highest status, the Denny's waitress who ends up with the Denny's manager, like that kind of situation.
Yes.
Yeah, but the waitress is also fucking like the coworkers too, and the coworkers. Like,
no, she's not. She's not fucking the coworkers. She's fucking the boss. She's fucking the boss. The junior partner, the female junior partner at the law firm, she's not fucking the junior partner. She's fucking the dude that she's fucking the fifth year. And eventually she wants to fuck the dude with it. She wants to fuck one of the dudes with his name on the door. Ken Rose with the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Devin nailed it. Says Destiny believes what women say. That's the problem. That's exactly right. Destiny believes what women say. He believes women when they say, well, it's not all about looks. When I swipe on Tinder, it is all about looks. It has to be, because that's all you have to go on.
like everybody's fucking.
Let me see if I can throw a monkey wrench in all of this. Okay.
Sure.
Which calendar sells the most? The Dad Bod calendar or the Thunder from Down Under Chippendales calendar?
Thank you.
The idea
Which one sells the
Thank
most?
you.
Chris Hemsworth's physical appearance does not make him more attractive to women. Obviously it does. The idea that Drake's physical appearance or whoever, their physical appearance for women, it's not everything. For as men, way more important for us.
I understand.
Of course. Right. Steve Buscemi, Jay-Z, Nick Van Exel, Sam Cassell. Those are four of the ugliest humans I have ever seen. But guess what? Steve Buscemi is he's probably the ugliest human I might have ever seen. Steve Buscemi got more ass last week than I've gotten my whole life. Simply because he's Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, and I understand we have a desire to point to these surveys a lot where we look at like, okay, well, what do women find more attractive? And women definitely do find certain features more attractive. But I think the issue that we have is just because they find something more attractive doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go for that as a partner or even necessarily a sexual partner.
Oh my God. Yes, it does, Destiny. Yes, he says doesn't necessarily mean, dude, look around. Look around. Young hot girls are not dating short dudes. Young hot girls are they're dating guys that are 6'4", rich and ripped and all that good stuff. Absolutely. Not only that, dude, hot girls fuck hot guys all the time, even if they are losers.
So this is something I try to do.
Okay, so stop right there just real quick, because what you're doing is you're like pushing the two together. Okay, we're not talking about like the pool boy is not forming a relationship with a rich woman who's married to that guy. Right. She just wants to fuck him right then and there. They're separating the two between there. We're not talking about like forming a relationship.
Sure, but even as like
I just want to. He was hot and he was a hot guy in the foam can party.
Yeah,
there it is.
I understand what you're saying there, but so for the largest survey that I could find, so in 2015 in evolutionary psychology, Frederick and Jenkins did a survey of over 60,000 people. Over half of them were men, and it had to.
60,000 people, half of them are men. Over. Okay.
The average number of sexual partners between all the men. And because I'm curious, I'm trying to find like, well, are there certain guys that like fuck all the women? Like, who are the alphas or whatever? And two of the metrics that they tracked were height and BMI. So they had very short, average, tall, very tall, and extremely tall guys. The biggest discrepancy: the extremely tall guys had 12.3 partners on average. And extremely tall was 6'5" and above, and the very short guys, 5'2" to 5'4", my short kings, their average partners was 9.4. That was the biggest discrepancy. At short, which is 5'5" to 5'7", you have 11 average partners. From 5'8" to 5'10", you
keep in mind this is back in 2015. It's 2023. It's been 8 years. That's a long time, and that's a very old survey, number one. Number two, Destiny is assuming that the women who answered this survey were being honest. Women are never honest about their body counts, even when they are taking an anonymous survey. Even when they're taking an anonymous survey. I'll show you guys a graphic here shortly.
You've got 11.7. From 5'10" to 6'1", you've got 12. And then from 6'2" to 6'4", you've got 12.1. From 6'5" on, you've got 12.3. There's not like this huge discrepancy in terms of like who's getting all these parts. And same thing with BMI.
Yes,
for
it is.
People, it was 8.2 average. Normal weight, 10.9. Normal weight. Overweight was 12. Obese was 11.7. And then obese category 3 was 9.3.
I just don't know that necessarily describes Leonardo DiCaprio. Like there's
it's not, but I think there's a really good description for Leonardo DiCaprio. And this is what I kept trying to find. Who is getting all the women? And it's not a particular trait. It's not a particular thing. It's just guys that want to fuck a lot of women. Those are the guys that get a lot of women. It's not because they're necessarily tall or necessarily wealthy. And
so guys that just want to fuck a lot of women are the ones fucking a lot of women? No, Destiny. Every guy wants to fuck a lot of women. But just because you want to fuck a lot of women doesn't mean you are. So what Destiny is saying is that, well, all you have to do is just try really hard and you'll fuck a lot of women. No, it's not. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way.
You guys must know somebody. I think we all probably know a guy who's a fucking bum who hits way above his pay grade because he's got a good smile. He's the pool boy, right?
Yes, we know. Dude, listen, man. Destiny believes that this pool boy is a one-off. No, there are plenty of pool boys and hot guys at the foam cannon party. Plenty.
Sure.
Arguably, he is the pool boy because what does the pool boy have?
What's the guy who's nailing Kim Kardashian now? Or what?
Pete Davidson?
Yeah.
It's great, but that has to do with pre-selection. The thing is,
yes, there it is, nailed it.
Also know the guy who's like really tall and good looking who can't get his fucking life together, but just keeps banging hot chicks out.
Thank
hot chicks.
you.
The thing is, for women, there's so many different reasons why they're attracted to men, but for some women, one of those reasons is physical appearance, and for other women, it is just fucking money, and they all live here in South Beach. Like that's, you know what I'm saying?
That might be the case, but poor people have more partners on average. So it's
okay. Well, there you go. He says poor people have more partners on average. He just contradicted himself. If poor people have more partners on average, wouldn't it? Listen, man, poorer men are not getting laid. Okay? Average looking men who are not rich are not getting laid. Again, 33% of men between ages 18 and 30 are either virgins or haven't had sex in a year. The average looking men are not getting laid like that. If you are an average looking man and you make $50,000 to $60,000 a year, you're not getting laid out here, man. The only men who are not rich and are getting laid on the regular are the guys who are physically superior. That's the way it works.
It seems like I'm trying to find, like, we have these theories and these concepts, and I'm trying to like drill it.
There are more poor people than there are rich people. You look at the number,
but it's also because poor people just fuck more because they have nothing else to do, right? If you're a kid and you go to school and then you go home and mom's at home, right? Yeah, well, no, it's because it's not necessarily there's more, but it's because you have less shit to do when you're poor, right?
We're not in caves.
Well, I mean, depending on where you're born. No, but like wealthy people, right? You wake up at 6:30 a.m. to go to your high school pre-band practice, and then you're from school from 7 to 4, and then you've got football practice from 4 to 6, and then you go home to mom, who's a full-time mom at home, right? Your day is going to look a lot different than somebody that like goes to school at 8, leaves school at 2:30, and you got nothing else to do for the rest of the day but fuck, right? And statistically speaking, poor people they've got more kids and they have more sex than wealthy people. Like, it doesn't seem like there's.
I don't know what this has to do with alpha fucks, beta bucks.
A discrepancy between tall and short people. I can't find a discrepancy between like fat and small people. So I feel like the guys that want to fuck aren't like evolutionarily the guys that just look at. It's guys that want to fuck. They go out looking for women.
Dude, there are guys. Dude, again, Destiny has no idea what he's talking about. He has no idea what he's talking about. Every guy wants to fuck a lot of girls, man. Every guy wants to fuck a lot of girls. This is unbelievable.
Fucking practice.
Like showing more. So you're saying logistics might have a big part in it because they're putting themselves out there more?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm saying that even though we can survey women and we can say, like, do you find this guy more attractive or this guy more attractive or this guy more attractive? Women will say, oh yeah, I find that more attractive. And we're very keen to say, like, well, look, they find that more attractive. These are the guys having all the sex. But that's not always true. It's just the guys that want to have all the sex.
No, that's not true. That's not true. So what Destiny is saying is that guys simply don't want to have sex. That's why they're not having sex. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Right? Like Bill Gates could probably be fucking 100 women
so
a week if he wanted to, but he's probably
maybe
not,
it's
right?
a confluence of the two things. It is the attractive man who also wants to fuck a lot, and then he's the one with, what was the survey we saw where the top 5% of men had 150 sexual partners or something like that?
Yeah, it's the hockey stick.
I think
That is true, and that number is true. However, that top 5% of men, it didn't necessarily correlate to a trait. It was the top 5% that wanted to fuck a lot of women.
That's
it wasn't
ridiculous.
just the tallest men that were.
Just because you want to fuck a lot of women, Destiny, does not mean that you can. Destiny is literally saying that if you want to fuck a lot of women, then you can fuck a lot of women. It doesn't work that way. Every guy wants to fuck a lot of women.
Or the top 5. It wasn't just the wealthiest.
I just see so many guys who want to fuck a lot of women, and they're just bad with women.
Yeah,
I
no,
know,
but
but
also,
There's just more of them.
I know,
now.
but I know a lot of
Thank
guys.
you.
My people on my stream will know this. There are a lot of guys who are, no offense to anybody that might know who I'm talking about, there are people that are losers, and they do so well for themselves. Because they're funny, they're charming, they're witty, they get girls to make them laugh, and they fuck so many women.
That's ridiculous, Destiny. That's cap. Dude, those losers, dude. Oh, no. Now Destiny is going to try to convince us that his audience, and he just admitted his fucking audience is losers. He calls them losers who play video games. So you mean losers who play video games are getting laid on the regular? No, they're not. You kidding me?
And these guys don't even have houses half the time, right?
Maybe what that is like
They don't even have houses half the time. Did you hear what he said? They don't even have houses half the time. Okay, so bums do get laid. He keeps going back and forth.
corollary to the ability to align resources, meaning if I'm funny, then I can have higher social alignments. Remember when we defined what an alpha male was? Or I'm sorry, we defined what a high status male was. We said he had high status social alignments. Funny people have those things.
Yes.
And so maybe that's a corollary, and that's why women find them attractive. It could be several different reasons. I think what you're hung up on is specifically the pool boy having abs and being just physically attractive. There's also the bartender who listens to her when her husband doesn't. She still might fuck him too.
Or maybe he has dark triad traits, because dark triad traits end up being like guys who
Or maybe he's 6'5", dude.
have dark triad traits end up having higher sexual partners.
They
that's
do,
as
but
well.
it's because people with dark triad traits want to have more sex, right?
What?
That's the issue, is they tend to chase them more. And if you chase them more,
but that only works one way. So, like, why is it that women find dark triad traits attractive in the first
There
I
place?
don't
you
think
go.
women generally find dark triad traits. Are you familiar with the study they did where they describe like the tennis player and they ask women? Is a really famous one. They ask women if they find him more or less attractive, and basically, fuck, I should have brought this one with me. But basically, there's
I
like
have one here, but go ahead.
sure, there's a whole list of like they describe a tennis player, and then in one they list like very domineering, very dominant traits, and then in the other they don't. They list more kind of like submissive traits, and they ask the women who's more attractive, and all the women go towards the domineering one in the study generally. But then when they rerun the study and they just list like the first 3 sentences and they don't have any of the dominant or submissive things, women just go with the first guy, which was interesting because they didn't consider that.
Well, that's no. That's stupid. That's stupid. So now he's giving credence to a study, to a female's response based on incomplete information. So when the woman knows everything about tennis player number 1 dominant, tennis player number 2 submissive, women like the dominant one. Then they just say, well, tennis player number 1 and tennis player number. Well, we'll just go for tennis player number 1. No. Women don't fuck men they are not aroused by. They're just not.
I have one. This is the one I was.
Wait. Just so I understand this, so I can make sure was the tennis player famous or
No. It was just a hypothetical. They say, here's a guy who's 6'3", he's got a good serve, he's very good at tennis, and then they go on to describe him, and they ask who the woman would be more attractive on based
6'3"? Who the hell is he talking about? John Isner? John Isner, 6'10". I think Novak Djokovic is 6'2".
on the writings that they give.
Yeah, the traits.
Yeah, and
Dominant
what
one
they-
versus submissive, and they picked dominant. The
Initially,
dominant
but then when they
one.
left no dominant or submissive, women picked like the baseline guy with less written about him. And as they continue to add in
Right, again, making a decision based on incomplete information. So okay, that guy's more attractive, right? So then they go out on a date with the guy and they find out that he is submissive. Guess what? He's not taking her home that night. It doesn't work that way.
take away
Was
from
the baseline guy a tennis player too?
yeah, it was the first 3 sentences without any added descriptors to him, basically.
By the way, they've done the same experiment with hiring practices, and they found the same thing. People would just pick the first person. I think
Sure,
it's just,
potentially.
you know,
Although they did in that study, they did a better job of shuffling around than just like the first person.
Yeah, but women don't make arbitrary decisions on who they're attracted to and who they're not, guys. They just don't. Women don't make decisions based on what they read on a piece of paper, right? Like, I mean, okay, well, let's and women have different imaginations and nah, man, like these studies. This is why I don't use studies, man.
person.
Yeah.
But what they found when they started
The only studies or statistics I ever reference are Tinder. Because women are honest on Tinder. Women aren't swiping right on dudes they're not trying to fuck.
when they started to add and take away more, is there's this concept, and it pairs really well with this concept earlier we talked about the alpha male, that women are drawn towards alpha guys that are violent and all this shit. And not really. They're drawn towards dominant men, but they're drawn towards dominant pro-social men. So
Oh my god, dude, you gotta be kidding me. Does this guy not realize that violent criminals have fan clubs, and not even, and let's take out the famous violent criminals, right? Ted Bundy, good-looking guy, whatever, right? There are violent men. There are men in prison who have fan clubs. Women from the outside, attractive women, go and marry these guys.
Not just a guy that can go out and fucking kill everybody, but a guy that can go out and get other people to come with him to go kill people. Not just a guy that is like this evil fucking asshole, but a guy can be really inspirational and maybe he's a little bit mean sometimes, but he gets people to do things. And that pro-social part of the alpha thing is really important.
Well, that all rocks on real well, except for the fact that you've got convicted killers in prison right now, and you've got women who are creating, teenage fan clubs to go get with those guys. Now, of course,
what did I swear to God. I swear to God, man. I swear to God. Unbelievable. And look at Sertain's face. Sertain's face is like, come on, Dave.
Gotcha, bitch.
Damn, Chappelle is a little slow today. Unbelievable. Chris Watts, who killed his wife. Shannon Watts. And their children. Yeah, dude.
what happens?
I think Destiny is young. I think he's like 28, right? Somebody find out how old Destiny is, because I think a lot of his, because he's smart. It's clear at this point that he's smart enough to grasp these concepts, but at this point, like Sneeko, he just needs to live a little bit more.
Right, say, well, they're all damaged goods. But the problem is you see this over and over and over again. Somebody just sent me this.
Richard Ramirez thing where people were
Anders
flashing.
Breivik, the Boston Marathon bomber, those guys. Yeah, those guys.
Jeffrey Dahmer was homosexual and had fucking girls going out there.
It's
unbelievable.
It's what's known as hybristophilia. Okay, now are
Yes.
all women hybristophiles?
No,
but only women are hybristophiles.
Thank you.
There is something that maps on to the attraction to guys who have a capacity for violence and extreme violence as well.
Thank you.
Sure, well, that's kind of true, but like, couldn't I also argue anecdotally that there's a lot of guys that are obsessed with like BPD girls?
yeah, I mean those.
Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with anything. MMA fighters. Dude, MMA fighters are swimming in pussy. Boxers. Dude, Mike Tyson was, any professional fighter swimming in pussy. Dude, Mike Tyson was this awkward kid out of Brownsville, Brooklyn, the Catskills. He didn't have any skills with girls. He didn't know what to do with girls. All he knew how to do was rob old ladies and fight. That's it. And then all of a sudden, he had girls throwing themselves at him. Why? Because they see the proof of his capacity for extreme violence, knocking motherfuckers' heads off.
They're super fun.
Yes, but we're talking about guys who are very antisocial, like provenly antisocial.
I don't, well,
like
when we say,
in jail for violent crimes.
I don't know if that's always the case, though, because when you look...
It's not always the case, but it's not always the case. I agree with Destiny there. But it's the case enough of the time for us to be talking about it. Just because something doesn't happen 51% of the time does not mean that it doesn't happen often. How do you define often? How can you say something happens often? Well, you can say something happens often when you hear anecdotes and empirical data. When you hear and see and live, experience life, you see and hear all of these things. So, yes, hybristophilia is absolutely a real thing. And just like Rolo said, not all women are hybristophiles, but hybristophiles are only women. And it's not, and again, I don't know what percentage of women are hybristophiles, but I do know this. Enough of them are hybristophiles to where we know that these people have fan clubs in prison. I think Destiny needs to wake up a little bit. Wow, he's 34. He looks pretty good for 34. Like he doesn't look 34. He looks like he's in his 20s.
At like the cult
They
leaders,
have to actually separate female prison guards from the male population because the guards fall in love with those convicted
exactly, but
killers.
it's probably because the traits that they exhibit aren't ASPD traits. They're not actually antisocial personalities or traits. They are.
No, Destiny. They fall in love with the prisoners because of their capacity for violence. Destiny at this point is just, I just think he doesn't know. I think he doesn't know. I think that if he were privy to this information, I think that he would acknowledge it. Because he's not stupid. He's not an idiot. I just think he doesn't know. Nice Glass says, fighters get girls, Mike Tyson, but so do K-pop. K-pop or K-pop? What does that say? K-pop or K-pop stars? I don't know what that is. But I'm sure they probably do get girls, whatever K-pop stars are.
usually a lot of these, especially these cult leader guys, come off as like relatively charming, relatively funny,
Well, most
pretty
people with
charismatic.
antisocial personality disorder come off as
They
well.
can,
as
yeah,
being
they can be
charming.
very manipulative.
Yeah.
But the way that they do it isn't because there's this idea of the alpha. It's just like, oh, fuck you, bitch, I'm gonna get you. But that's not usually how
No. That's not what we said an alpha is. That's not what we said.
it goes. He's usually very charming, can get women to do a lot of crazy shit because he's like so manipulative. You know?
So let's
Manipulative. This goes back to what I said about guys like Destiny and Abba and Preach thinking that Andrew Tate must be guilty of a crime because women throw themselves at them. Destiny right now is showing his ignorance about the true nature of women. He has no, like, it is so foreign. It is the concept of a man being able to talk to and socialize and seduce a woman to have sexual relations with him and to be able to do it again and again and again and again and be successful with it more times than not is so foreign to them that Destiny, Abba, and Preach think that men who have these harems of women must be committing crimes. Well, they got to be committing crimes. Every one of the women on the Atlanta panel said they would never date Andrew Tate. And it was all cap. Of course they're going to say they would never date Andrew Tate. And you want to know something? Destiny would probably believe, he probably believes that. He probably believes that. And just like Devin said, Destiny believes what women tell him. That's his main problem.
just to try to find a common ground here.
Oh, right, K-pop, Korean pop stars. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, those are Nancy boys. Jesus.
Again, the book by Cindy Messon and David Buss of UT Austin. They wrote a book called Why Women Have Sex. They came up with 237 reasons why women have sex. And so the main thing is you're not wrong about any of those things. Anecdotally, we can come up with tons of reasons where a girl is a good girl and then all of a sudden she moves to Miami and she ends up working in a club. She ends up cheating on her fucking boyfriend. We can come up with numerous examples of all these things happening.
Yeah, Dr. Durden says he's trying to backwards rationalize why the Tates get women. Yes. Guys, I've said this for weeks. Abba and Preach and Destiny try to backwards rationalize. Well, they gotta be committing crimes if all these women are throwing themselves at them.
And the thing is, the main thing I would take away is there's just more variation with women than there is with men. That's the only thing I would take.
I got to say, this is Rob Henderson. I'm sure you're probably familiar with Rob. In modern society, the most violent gang members often have the highest status compared to their non-violent peers.
There you go.
Young male gang members between 14 and 18 years old were 5.7 times more likely to have had sex and 3.2 times more likely to have gotten a girl pregnant.
There you go.
Sure, but listen to what you just said there.
That wasn't August of 2022.
That wasn't the pool boy, though. That was with the people at the top of their particular games.
We're also talking about violent
but they were people that could partition resources, not the pool boy. Right?
Yes,
violent gang members, I guess they could participate.
Yeah, we agreed earlier that Epstein could, and he was a piece of shit. But
Well, there we go. There we go. That's the point exactly, actually.
If your point is there are multiple different ways to be alpha, I agree. Totally. It doesn't just have to be physical.
The prestige alpha, where you're like a leader and you exhibit a lot of pro-social behavior, I think is the key one that most women are attracted to.
No. That's what he thinks. See, now Destiny is trying, he's reverse projecting. Pro-social and can get resources. That's who I think women are attracted to. No, Destiny's describing himself. He's describing himself. He's trying to rationalize. I don't know what he's trying to do here. Because maybe he thinks because he has an attractive wife, I think that maybe he thinks that because he has an attractive wife, he thinks he knows about women. This is unbelievable.
It's not just a guy that's an asshole or a guy that's an alpha.
I don't know about most, but they're in the middle of the deviation. I would agree with that.
There you go. There you go.
Rob Henderson again. A man's height had an enormous impact on how desirable he was to women.
On how desirable, but not the average number of partners.
The most popular men were between 6'3" and 6'4", which of course tracks because that's what they set the filters to.
True.
This is so funny. What Sertain and Tomasi are doing, they're telling Destiny what girls are aroused by. And Destiny refuses to believe it because he doesn't have those traits. That's what it is. Destiny's not tall. He's not good looking. All right? He's not ripped. He's not ripped or anything like that. He's none of those things. Girls don't want to fuck Destiny. Molina doesn't even fuck Destiny. You kidding me? Yeah, Dre Raven says this is a mental cope on his part. I think that's what this is. Sertain and Tomasi are giving him a detailed step-by-step list. And again, there's that book, 237 Reasons Why Women Have Sex. 237 reasons. And Destiny refuses to believe that women are not physically attracted to him. They're not physically aroused by him. They might be attracted to him because of his status and his pro-social whatever, but they're not trying to fuck this dude.
true, but that's
Yep, Mr. says he's still mixing sexual market value and relationship market value. That's exactly right.
study that you always bring up shows that women value relative height more than just absolute height.
See,
You're talking about the 89,
you know, it's funny.
89, so
Now we're
I'm glad you brought that up because
now we're grasping at straws here.
we're talking about this recently. I've kind of changed my opinion on this as far as height is concerned. It's not
Blazanity, member for 3 months. Bulma left Yamcha for Vegeta. Enough said. There you go. There you go. There you go. Vegeta, clearly more violent than Yamcha. Clearly. Of course Bulma is going to fuck Vegeta. Come on.
like I used to say, well, you know, guys would be like, oh, Rolo, I'm 5'9", I'm doomed. I'm never gonna find a chick. I'm always like, okay, well, find a girl who's 5'8". That's not enough, because what happens is that guy who's 5'9" stands next to you, and now he looks like the hottest guy in the fucking club because he is the one that's taller than your man. So it's, again, we go back to the perceptual thing once again. It's not necessarily finding the guy who's or finding the woman who's just 1 inch shorter than you. You also have to be be higher, taller than everybody else in the
or wear height boosting shoes.
room.
So would you guys say height is a byproduct of height attraction is a byproduct of absolute? Or
I think
you're saying it's not
height,
absolute?
I'm saying that height can be an attractive quality, but I think we jump too.
No, height is not an attractive quality. Height is arousing. Height connotes protection. How does a man protect? How can a man subconsciously protect in a woman's mind? The taller a man is, the more he can protect her. How would he protect her? He has to show a capacity for violence. It is what it is, guys. Like, this isn't complicated.
Quickly from what do you find attractive to what are men, what are women actually
So they're
selecting
not actually
for?
sleeping with them.
They're not
even though
selecting
they're
for it.
saying,
It's just like correct.
I just know too many male strippers who've been with 300-400 girls.
Okay, but like what percentage of the population are male strippers?
Right, but the
Well, there we go. That's it. Well, there we go. What percentage of the male population has those male stripper physical traits?
thing is, while that is the case,
that's it.
While that is the case, that's the reason why those women are selecting them, because of their physical attractiveness.
Thank
Like, at some
you.
point, the 6'3" Australian guy who has six-pack abs, who just has a plethora of women coming after him, does show that women find physical attractiveness.
And I agree with that. Yet there's no shortage of doctors and lawyers, that are happily like in relationships. It's not like some guys like fuck, like I became a lawyer to law.
Okay, you're right. But that doesn't, that has nothing to do with their point. Women are aroused by physically arousing men.
From I'm a doctor, like I'm a six-pack, I'm never gonna find a woman. Like those people don't exist.
But I think what we're talking about, though, is the guy who can sleep with hundreds of women. I'm not saying they should, but I'm just saying that those guys who can, there's usually something that they do that is above and beyond. They are
True, and the thing that they do.
I always say this, and here's what Destiny needs to realize. Here's what Destiny needs to realize, and I've said this for years. But a man who is an A+ at one thing will fuck hotter women than a man who's a B- at everything. Let me repeat that. A man who is an A+ at one thing will fuck hotter women than a man who's a B- at everything. That's always the way it's been, and that's always the way it will be. Devin nails it on the head again. She says Destiny thinks that female attraction is binary. Exactly. Devin made the comment of the episode a while back when she said that Destiny's problem is that he believes what women tell him. It's ridiculous.
Do that's above and beyond is they go for women. That's the big separator.
Okay,
is women
That's
go.
not the big separator, Destiny. That's not the big separator. It's not just like you can't manifest sex. You can't manifest sex. You got to go out and get it. You got to go out and get it. You got to work for it. You don't just decide, I'm going to go out and get sex, and then it happens. No, man. No. Every guy is out here trying to get laid, but only 10% of them really can on the regular.
Go after the women or not, right? Because again, when you look at the average heights and you look at the average partners, you're not finding that like all these women. It's like 15 average partners when you're 6' and only 3 partners for guys. Like even guys that were 5'2" to 5'4", my short kings. No offense. Even those guys were on average like 9.1 partners. They're like 4 average.
Oh,
partners away
that's
from the guys
cap.
that are
I guess
6'5"
I'm confused. If the average,
That's cap. That's cap. There's no way that's true. There's no way that's true. There's absolutely positively no way that's true. That's cap.
North American male has 6 partners. How is the 5'2" guy?
0.1 partners. They're like 4 average partners away from the guys that were 6'5".
I guess I'm
plus.
confused. If the average North American male has 6 partners, how is the 5'2" guy having?
This was a survey. I don't.
Oh boy. Let's rewind that and see. This is that circular logic that we're talking about. Destiny will make a statement 10-15 minutes ago, and then he'll come up with a study or statistic that completely contradicts it. And Sartain just called him out on it. If the average American male has 7 sexual partners or whatever it was, how are 5'2" guys fucking 9 bitches at a time? It doesn't make any sense.
5'4", my short kings. No offense. Even those guys were on average like 9.1 partners. They're like
5'4", 9.1 partners on average. So you mean to tell me There's only a 3% difference between guys who are 5'4" and 6'4". Nah, I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all, man. He is wrong.
4 average partners away from the guys that were 6'5"
I guess I'm
plus.
confused. If the average North American male has 6 partners, how is the 5'2" guy having 9
No,
partners?
this was a survey. That number sounds low to me. I haven't heard that before. I thought the average number of partners for the North American male was between 9 to 11.
No, that is no. See, the average number of partners for the average North American male is 7.
Is it? Maybe it is. I thought
6
they were
sounds low.
less.
It might be like average relationships or something, but the average number of partners are. And again, this is a 2015 study, evolutionary psychology.
Yeah, from 8 years ago.
Surveyed 60,000 people, so I'm keen to.
So from what I
In the
understand,
United States, or what was
In the
it?
United States,
The
yeah.
Democrat.
so from what I understand, Destiny, you're saying that if the guy wants it to happen, he'll get more partners.
I'm saying that if you take a guy who's 5'4", makes $36,000 a year, okay, and isn't that in shape compared to like a fucking Giga Chad 6'2" guy, if the 6'2" guy is like, I'm gonna focus on work and I'll just fuck whatever comes my way, and the 5'2" guy is like, I'm gonna fuck everything I fucking
Oh,
can.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
go
I disagree with that.
That short dude is gonna pull way more than
There's this thing called the pickup community, of course.
Exactly. Yeah, and from that pickup community, I'm saying that if you take a guy who's 5'4", makes $36,000 a year, okay, and isn't that in shape compared to like a fucking Giga Chad 6'2" guy, if the 6'2" guy is like, I'm gonna focus on work and I'll just fuck whatever comes my way, and the 5'2" guy is like, I'm gonna fuck everything I fucking
Oh,
can.
I don't
I'm
think
gonna
I
go
disagree with that.
That short dude is gonna pull.
Yeah. Look.
I'm gonna focus on work and I'll just fuck whatever comes my way, and the 5'2" guy is like, I'm gonna fuck everything I fucking
Oh,
can.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
go
I disagree with that.
That short dude is gonna pull way more than.
There's this thing called the pickup community, of course.
Exactly, yeah. And from that pickup community too, so I'm trying to keep everything data driven. I know you bring up your sugars, but if I want to lean into the anecdotes, something that I hear very commonly from the pickup community, and something that I've seen personally a lot, is you will find these guys in these incel communities. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to some of these suburbs, but people will post these pictures. Dude is like relatively attractive,
Yeah, I've seen that
5'11",
too, yeah.
and they're like, I feel like I'm hideous and I can't find like any girls, and I don't think
Yeah, those are gym cells.
girls don't like me.
Do you think autism might have a place, a part in that?
It might. It's hard to say.
Autism has increased 178% since 2000.
See, I don't know.
Wow.
Well, I hear that before. The problem is, do you guys remember Steve Urkel? You guys remember Revenge
Yes.
of the Nerds? We were
Yes.
fucking making fun of autistic people back in the 80s and 90s because we didn't know what they were. So when we say it's 78% more
Sure.
autistic people, I just
It's
think
diagnosed, right?
I just think what happened is we used to just call them nerds, and now we're realizing that they actually have a spectrum disorder. Also, it used to not be a spectrum; it used to just be autism, and now it's a spectrum. So now we can include more people. So I don't know. That could be the case. We can say, hey, you've done the exact same studies for autoimmune disorders. I think a lot of countries didn't know what autoimmune disorders were, so now we diagnose more of them because now we understand what it was.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But so just to circle back on this one more time, that we can move on to this point. I don't know of any trait that guarantees you a high number of partners, despite the fact that we talk about it like that all the time.
We didn't say guarantee. We didn't say guarantee.
Like, I can't find research that says if you're
How about
60 plus,
How about two traits?
Even two traits, I don't know.
The two traits would be
Combinations.
The combination would be some form of competency or physical attractiveness, or like, and then combine that with I'm gonna go out every night till I get fucking laid.
well, but again, the only one that really matters is the latter one. Because the latter one, in the least competent guy in the world, is going to get him laid more than the most
I
competent
just
guy.
don't know if you have 33% of men having zero sexual partners. I
Thank
think there's still
you!
some-
A million guys in like
I don't
the
think they
list
don't
match.
Dude, again, see, Destiny simply believes what women are telling him. He does not understand. He does not get it. He does not get it. And the 5'2" guy dude, there it is. Oh my God. Jay Blaze is nailing it. If a guy's making 32K, he's working a shit job, has no money or status, he can try all he wants. Hell no. Yeah, he ain't getting laid. You kidding me? Fuck out of here.
Search right now,
Well,
there's driving their
33% was
chief.
for men 19 to 30. And again, I understand we can do a lot of conjecture, but like I said, like I tried to find it. Like, are there these traits? Like, what do I need to have to fuck a lot of women? What is like the trait that will let you do it? And
It's not the trait, okay? It's a number of traits. Some guys have that one trait. Like I said, a man who's an A+ at one thing will fuck hotter women than a man who's a B- at everything.
like the answer was just if you want to fuck a lot of women, you go
I can
for
tell.
it.
I can look.
Because
Because it doesn't,
This is all
it doesn't map
anecdotal,
onto money because it's reversed that way, right? Poor people have more sex than wealthy people. Doesn't seem to map cleanly onto height. Doesn't seem to map cleanly onto BMI. Doesn't seem to map cleanly onto career. The more career-driven people have less children, have less sex.
But then also, like, as far as the poor people and everyone, all those demographics that you just mentioned right now, we also have to take into account age. So if you're looking at like 18 to 30 demographic versus the 30 to 40 to whatever it is. So
Also, there's a difference between having wealth and the ability to spend. Like the willingness to spend, I think actually might.
I was going to say,
We're in Miami. dude. Like,
I just had a study here that was saying that like men who are like not frugal, who would like overspend, they're like, it's almost like FinDom, right? Were more willing to spend above and beyond, like go take a line of credit out. Those guys had a higher instance of sexual partners.
That wouldn't surprise me, but that maps onto what I was saying earlier. I don't think it maps onto what you guys are saying, and that it maps onto a certain alpha trait. It maps onto what I'm saying is that it's a guy that's willing to fucking do what he needs to do.
because he
He wants to get laid. Yeah. So that spender could be a 5'4" fucking nerd dude.
Okay, look, man. The 5'4" nerd dude, and nice glass says, I low-key disagree. If you're broke with a crappy job but you have game, you can still get women. Right. Here's the problem. Most men don't have that kind of game. Okay? If you're a brokey with a shit job, you better have game. You better have game.
Dude that like isn't the most attractive guy, but he's willing to invest time and resources
I
and
think
get laid.
all of them want to get laid. I think it's who's willing to like move to Brickell or South Beach or move to West or move
Who's
to
willing to
Hollywood.
Now I'm disagreeing with Certain here. You can listen, man. You can go to you can move to a target-rich environment all you want. Just because you want to get laid and make an effort to get laid doesn't mean you will. Success is not, as far as sex is concerned, Destiny is trying to correlate sexual success with effort. And again, and that's true to some degree. Like, you can, like, obviously, if a guy goes out, you listen, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? That's just the way that goes. If a guy never goes out, if he's never sourcing, if he's never approaching girls, he's never going to get laid. That's just the way it goes. But, dude, guys are out here on Tinder. It's been like this for 20, 30 years. But you can move to a target-rich environment all you want to. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Just because you want to get laid and make an effort to get laid, that doesn't guarantee anything. However, if you have certain traits, if you have a certain status, and then you decide you want to get laid, that increases your odds. So I'm not trying to hear this 5'4" guys can get laid if they really, really want to. That may have been true, maybe, I don't know. The only way you can really get laid, if you're a short guy, you gotta be in great shape. You gotta be ripped. You gotta be ripped. Dude, Kevin Savo is what, 5'6"? That dude smashes bitches on the regular because he's jacked. He's jacked. He's a movie, he makes movies. He's clearly the contextual alpha, right? But if Kevin didn't, if Kevin weren't jacked or ripped or whatever the case may be, he wouldn't get laid no matter how much he wanted to. Oh.
Go and
who's
lose
willing to go and
weight,
physically be there. I think that's the
muscle on
difference.
too.
And I think where the delta is, the difference between the guys getting laid and the ones who aren't, are the ones, because we do so many things virtually now, I think it's the ones who are willing to go where the shit is. The guys who are willing to live on 6th Street or live on 6th Street in Austin, Texas, or McKinney Avenue in Dallas.
Sure.
Those guys who are willing to live there or be there all the time, I agree with you.
The ones chasing it, yeah.
Look, you gotta be, listen, that's not where it ends though. Just because listen, you gotta put yourself in situations to be successful, but you also have to do the work. You have to have the traits. You have to have the traits, the height, whatever, the game. It's not just moving to a target-rich environment and deciding you want to get laid. No, sorry.
Yeah,
but I will.
I think they all want to get laid.
Sure, but again, to circle back, because it feels like in these circles we talk about these are the traits that are desired by women, and these are the things that women are going for alphas. But then when we look at who's actually having the sex, it's not actually those people. So that theory is totally broken.
What the fuck is he talking about? Those people are not having sex. What is he talking about? He is making a false statement. He is saying that so what he is saying, he's saying that sexually attractive men who have their options with women aren't getting laid. You gotta be kidding me. He's talking about this like it's an objective fact. Watch.
Sure, but again, to circle back, because it feels like in these circles we talk about these are the traits that are desired by women, and these are the things that women are going for alphas. But then when we look at who's actually having the sex, it's not actually those people. So that theory is totally broken.
That's crazy. These are the people that are not actually having sex. Destiny, how the fuck do you know this? Like this guy.
That's totally broken. I think you just add logistics to the previous theory, and then all of a sudden, then you'll see. Because I bet you if we compared all those guys, we would find that the guys who have more money, or willing to spend more money, or are taller versus the shorter guys, we're going to find that they have more partners.
That is probably true, but all of them are going to outclass the people that aren't trying to. Right?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I agree with that. All of them are going to outclass the guys who aren't. Listen, let's not talk about the guys who aren't trying to get laid. Let's not talk about the guys who aren't trying to get laid. All right. Every guy wants to get laid, but not every guy is trying to get laid. We should make this data set guys who are trying to get laid. The guys who are trying to get laid, the more arousing, the more physically attractive they are, the more partners you're going to have. That's just all there is to it. All things being equal, same environment, same opportunities, same type of girls. It matters. What Destiny is trying to do, he's trying to say, well, if you're a good man and you have a good job and you're stable, girls are going to find you attractive. No, they're not. No, they're not. Viking Paradigm says he's gaslighting because he's lost. Dude, this is...
We control for sex addicts. Just sex addicts. If we were to look at just those sex addicts, we find the ones with more symmetrical faces, more masculine features, that are taller, have a V-shaped torso, and actually willing to spend more money, better...
And there's no such thing as a sex addict. Dude. There's no such thing. No. Everybody wants to have sex. Everybody likes sex. Everybody loves sex. There's no such thing as a sex addict, man.
More charismatic, controlling for all these sex addicts, we find that they probably have a better ability. So
And then-
Well, that is true. You do.
I got one more variable.
Wait, real quick on this, because you do a lot of ego psych stuff. Are you familiar with hereditary, inheritable traits and all of that?
Of course.
So very, very, very
Hereditary, inheritable traits like height, build, that stuff matters.
complicated area of research is heritable traits.
Yes.
If I control enough for any trait, the heritability of every single trait will be 100%. If you control away every single variable, then the only thing left to explain the difference is DNA, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's literally what I just said. That's literally what I just said, guys. I just said, all things being equal, guy moves to... You have two guys. They both live in Austin, Texas. plenty of girls, etc., etc. The guy who is more physically arousing is going to have more opportunities with women than the guy who's less physically arousing. That's the very definition of hereditary traits that you inherit.
So the heritability necessarily of every single trait genetically approaches 100%. If you control too much, I agree with you that if we control away for like sex addicts and everything, that we can say like, okay, well there are some traits that women prefer. But if like all the sex addict populations are up here, and then all of the non-sex addicts are down here, and we're like, okay, well let's control away for these guys. We're getting rid of our biggest explanatory factor for the difference between people that are having success and mating, right?
This is we're getting too far in the weeds, man. This is like, dude, Destiny keeps bringing in all of these factors and studies, dude. Girls don't fuck who they don't want to fuck, man. They don't fuck who they don't want to fuck.
Include the sex addicts in the survey,
Sure.
and then compare them to one another. That's what I was.
No, yeah, and I understand. I agree with you. But it's the difference in between groups, because what we're really interested in is we're not really interested when we're asked these questions of like, do these people get laid more? Do these people get laid more? What we're saying is the thing that matters the most is the difference within these groups, but that's not true. It's the difference between the two groups. And the big factor is the sex addict factor. That's what's going to get you laid. Not if we control away for that, we look at the stuff within. It would be like controlling away for nutrition and measuring height.
That was
right?
my next point is like you also have to you also track obesity rates and people being overweight right now. So again, how is that affecting people's arousal states?
well, that's true, but again,
how does that also affect the rates of people getting laid and what they're doing to get laid?
That is true, but I will say, even in that study, the underweight guys had 8.2 average partners. The obese category 3 people had 9.3.
Yes, but you also have to take into
That's crazy. Obese people are not fucking, man. And even if they are fucking, they're fucking other obese. What is, dude. See, I think what somebody needs to let Destiny know is that not all success is created equal, right? Not all success is created equal. Okay? You can have a guy who fucked 10 women and a guy who fucked 3 women. The guy who fucked 10 women, if the guy fucked 10 fat women and the other guy fucked 3 hot women, who is more successful? It's the guy who fucked the hotter women. Not every sexual metric is created equal. There is a big difference. Like, not all girls are created equal, man. Girls are picky, girls are selective. Oops. Girls are picky, girls are selective. Girls are selective. That's just how that goes. But what he's trying to convince us and himself is that none of this matters, and it absolutely does. Oops, I forgot to. Hang on. Why won't this? Sorry, guys.
There's consideration there's going to be way more obese people than there are going to be underweight people, and they're simply just by the law of averages.
Yeah, but even if there were, who cares? Like, if there are way more obese people, they're still having sex. I don't think anybody in the audience cares. Like, well, fuck, there's more of us.
Yes, with who, though, Destiny? Like, dude, getting laid doesn't count if you're fucking a bunch of fatties, man. There's a big, big difference.
I think because we're looking at like central limit theorem in this, the difference, it doesn't seem like a big difference between 8 and 9, but if you were to look at it from a percentage standpoint, it is a pretty significant difference. Does that make sense? Because there's in that survey, I guarantee there's going to be some zeros and there's going to be some 50s. You know
Absolutely true, which is why I'm glad
The Chippendales calendar still outsells the Dadbot calendar.
True.
Thank
but
you!
across the height continuum, however, there was little variation in mean or median number of reported sex partners. Further,
Look, dude, like, look. This is the difference. What Rollo... So Rollo just, again... And he won the argument already. He says they sell more Thunder from Down Under calendars than Dadbod calendars. End of discussion. But now he wants to go into the study and the no, Destiny. None of that. No. You can't trust these studies, fam. You cannot trust these studies. I don't, dude. Unbelievable. You can look, man. You can give me all the stats that you want, but just like Rollo said, the Dadbod calendar does not sell as many as the Thunder from Down Under. And now he's going to counter with a study or statistic? No, sorry.
Further, men between 5'7" and 6'3" varied little in whether they had more than 5 partners, had more than 14 partners, engaged in extra pair sex, or were currently single. So even for the extreme outliers of 5+ or 14+
stupid.
partners, it didn't seem to matter as much in the height. What mattered is if you wanted to be a
I
fucking
don't have a huge problem with this. What you're saying is that these things matter. It's just that the thing you think that matters the most is, I would say, logistics. Like, if you were to say, what is the thing for me that got me around the most attractive women, is that I live on the strip in Las Vegas. I live on the strip in Las Vegas. I would go out to clubs and there'd just be hundreds of women every time I went out. And so that,
Bingo. Here's the difference. You can be on the strip all you want to. You can move to the strip. You can go to clubs. Again, target-rich environment. But the reason I was successful with women, aside from logistics, was because I had game, I had money, and I'm 6'2". That's why. I had game, I had money, and I was 6'2", and I was plugged in to strip clubs around the strip. You can't be a 5'4" dude making $32,000 a year and get an in with a strip club. Sorry. Nope. Yeah, Kyle 2020 says, no, he's trying to negotiate attractiveness. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to negotiate. And again, Manosphere Highlights Daily says attraction is not a choice. Attraction's not a choice. Again, you can come up with all the stats and studies and statistics all you want to. But like Rollo said, they sell more Thunder from Down Under calendars than Dad Bod calendars. And that's the bottom line. End of discussion. All right. Let's see here. There it is. Right after tonight's live stream, guys, I will be continuing my breakdown of season 13 of Married at First Sight. A lot of people like to, say that dating shows are scripted. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's ridiculous. Stupid. Because if these dating shows were really scripted, like, the girls would pick the nice guys instead of the bad boys. Right? We clearly know and understand that nothing could be further from the truth. We also know, and listen, we know that, watching these dating shows is one of the few ways to kind of witness unfiltered, female nature. Now, at this point, I'm on my 26th season of dating shows. Now, you can watch live for free. You can watch live for free at sharpstream.com/freeview. But if you want to access the archive of over 35,000 hours of breakdowns not found anywhere, become a member on SharpStream for less than 17 cents a day. Less than 17 cents a day. Also, virtual CME tickets are now available for purchase. They are now available for purchase. If you can't make it down to Miami, you can watch the whole thing, speeches, panel discussions, everything in between, right from your mobile device from anywhere in the world. You'll also have the ability to chat with other virtual attendees, participate in certain events. Now, for a limited time, we are giving you a 20% early bird discount. So get on over to masculineexcellence.com to get your 20% discount on your 2023 CME virtual ticket. Let's continue.
If you're making that argument, sure. I think where we may differ is you may say that's 40% of the total equation, and then say looks, money, status would be the other part, where somebody else might say, well, then no, that's a small part of the equation. I think logistics has been totally overlooked by the pickup community.
Sure,
I agree.
You guys are actually both correct. Because by being logistically put in the right place, you're around more women, which is what he's arguing volume.
If you're arguing that, I agree with you.
He's arguing logistics, but here's the thing: you guys marry them together, and you end up with more volume by default, being in better logistics.
No, sure, but when he talks logistics, I would say that's probably 90 to 95% of the explanatory power.
Negative. There, I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew it. All you have to be is in the right place at the right time and want to fuck women. No destiny. No, that is not how this works. He says that's 90 to 95%. I would say logistics is probably 30 to 35%. Because nothing, dude, when I lived in Henderson, and, me and my boys would go to Dre's or whatever club, I'd running, and this happened to me several times. Get a girl, get ready to go back to my place. The Uber ride or the car ride all the way to my place in Henderson snuffed out the spark. Soon as I moved to the Soho, just a few blocks away from the club, bam. But it's not 90 to 95%. It's not, as long as you're in the right place at the right time and have the desire to have sex, you'll have sex. No. There's a lot more. Logistics are important. Please believe. But that is not 90 to 95% of your success as far as women are concerned. That's ridiculous.
That if you are in an area, warm spaces where you're making friends with women, you're gonna fuck. It's almost inevitable.
I tell you where I differ. I think there's men below the what they call the. I don't want to throw this all in.
Like a floor of looks or something?
Not a floor of looks, just fucking weird. Just so weird that you can put them around. Because I've seen this, because I've got 500 clients. The guys that just literally cannot get laid because they just come off as so needy whenever they're around women. So I think for that standpoint, I don't know if it's 90%.
That's true for most men. That's true for most guys. Most guys have no idea how to handle today's women. They have no idea. Rizzo 529 with the $5 super chat says, love the take, Donovan. Cuxtony is bi and probably conflating the fact that women are more selective. Happy men aren't. That's probably his statistics. You could be right. Devin Devin's on fire today. Says that only works if you want to catch a stray at a stray ball at a baseball game. Come prepared and wait. Right. No, not even come prepared and wait. Just come and wait. That's a very good analogy. That's a very good analogy. That's a very good analogy. For example, at home run derbies, the best place to sit at a home run derby is the first and second deck, right down the right field, from right to right center and left to left center. Because left-handed hitters are going to hit the majority of their home runs to right field. Right-handed hitters are going to hit the majority of their home runs to left field. So if you are in the stands with your glove and you're getting balls hit to you all day long and you happen to be prepared, you're going to catch a ball. But if you don't know how to catch a baseball, if you don't have experience with a baseball glove, like, dude, I know how to use a baseball glove. I played baseball since I was a kid, right? But let's just say that you're not really, like, you don't know how to handle a baseball. Let's say you don't have good hand-eye coordination. Let's say, for example, there's no depth perception, right? I played outfield. You have to have depth perception. You have to know where the ball is going to be and when it's going to be there. So you can sit in right field when Juan Soto is jacking balls out there all day long, but if you can't catch, you're not going to catch a home run ball. Okay, you might get lucky. You might get lucky because he's hitting 28 home runs and you happen to get, oh my God, this fell into my glove. But it does not happen unless you are prepared. So you go to the home run derby, you sit in right field, and when Juan Soto comes up, I played baseball since I was a kid. I've got depth perception. I know how to change angles. I know how to go right, left, whatever the case may be. Guess what? My odds are going to drastically increase for catching a baseball in the home run derby. You have to be prepared. And being prepared means knowing how to handle women, being able to socialize, having game, being able to escalate, being charming, all that stuff. You can't just show up and get laid. You can't just show up, talk to girls and get laid. It does not work that way. You have to do this with intention. You got to do this with intention. Not only do you have to do this with intention, you got to do this with competence. Very good analogy by Dev, man. Very good analogy.
As far as them getting laid just because of that whole thing, but as far as what you're saying is intent, I don't know if that's the whole thing. Here's where I would differ. When we're talking about the very physically attractive women, I don't think those numbers would hold up. I think you do need because those very physically attractive women get more stimulus from other males. That stimulus causes them to do more of a comparative research when they choose to fuck this guy versus this guy versus this guy. Unless we're talking about Coke and Molly, then it's completely different.
Well, yeah. I understand what you're saying. Again, that's a nice theory. I just don't know if there's any data to support that. Like, if you're around women, you will fuck them.
Anything to support that? He doesn't know that there's anything to support that. This just proves that he does not know. He doesn't know because he's never tried it. Destiny's arguments are all based on theories and statistics. No. Me, Tomasi, Certain, Gaines. Weeks. We go by the empirical data. What we've been through. What the men around us have been to. What men tell us. I don't trust fucking studies. I trust men. Because men don't lie to by and large, men don't lie to other men when it comes to their conquests. When I get clients, they tell me, look, I've never gotten laid, I'm a virgin, blah, 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 blah. They ain't got no reason to lie to me. They're trying to get laid. Destiny does not know because I don't think he's never tried, to be honest with you.
Do we need data to know that if you're like a fat fuck and you get in the gym, you go there for 6 months, you put on muscle, and you come down in body fat, that you're going to get more attention from women or
Thank you.
I do, because I think people know of the guys that go to the gym, and I work in the fucking influencer industry, or whatever. Like, there are so many guys that have like fucking 9 out of 10 bodies that have no fucking self-esteem. They carry that fat kid energy with them their entire life, and they have all
getting more attention from women.
They can, but they fumble it so hard.
Thank you. That's the point, Destiny. They fumble it hard because they're not prepared. They don't know how to use that baseball glove. Destiny. They're in right field. Juan Soto is jacking home runs all day long. But they don't have a glove. They don't know how to catch. They got a beer in their hand. That's the point.
POA community, we're a lot of coaches. I know there are coaches that will talk to me about this. These guys
like to fuck them, even if whether they have the social skills to get there in the first place.
Let's use a video game analogy. I used to be like a semi-pro Madden player. Speed, agility, awareness, change of direction, all these things. Let's get them all at least to 80. Let's get them all at least to 80, and then add the logistics in, and then that would work. I think that's good advice, and that's a vector to
there we go.
Now, when you say, well, I know some women who will only date guys who have loaded tattoos, and some guys who won't. Some women who are only interested in African American men, and some women who will not be interested in them. So the divergence is so incredibly strong in those different things. I think if we get all of our sliders up to a certain, like if you're playing FIBA or MLB The Show or Madden or whatever, if we just all of us have those sliders up to a certain point,
wow.
we're going to do well. As far as a prescription
Money, muscles, and game.
I mean, you guys
I think
agree
that-
There it is. Money, muscles, game, frame. Shout out to Modern Life Dating.
on a lot of points.
Well,
I mean,
sure. Real quick, I think the prescription, the reason why I fight on this, the prescription I think is you need to find a way to get into warm spaces with other women.
Logistics.
That is like
Absolutely.
the number one
Agreed. I don't
success of
disagree
any.
with
Yeah,
Fish where
but
the
it feels
fish
like in red pill spaces, we spend 99% of time talking about getting your money up, getting your muscle up, and then maybe like learning game.
What
Well, that's because that increases the odds of success, Destiny. Everything he's talking about is increasing your odds of success. Yes, you can move to a target-rich environment, but if you don't have money, muscles, game, frame, your odds are going to be very long indeed. They're going to be very, very long indeed.
Pill spaces are those.
Fresh and fit.
The problem is,
Do you know of any other red pill spaces?
Can I say her name here?
go ahead, bro.
Pearl.
I watch a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of Just Barely Think stuff. I've seen a lot of Fresh and Fit stuff. I've seen a lot of clips of like Tate. I've seen a lot of like advice videos from Andrew and Tristan. Although their advice for being a woman is actually generally pretty good.
but they did say the 9 is not at the mall. You're going to meet the 9 at certain parties. You remember that one clip that Andrew Tate had? The
That's
other,
right.
the other thing is, where are we right now? We're in Brickell. We're in the middle of the middle
Yes.
of the shit. We're in Da Nang right now. This is where the women are. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, we're in the middle. So while you're saying that, we do prescribe logistics. I have some pretty significant criticisms of the pickup community. Logistics is one of my main ones. Logistics and not using social media at all. They were 10 years behind the curve on social media. Those things, that's where the pickup community screwed up. So I agree with you about his logistics. Of course,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
I think we all agree.
No, I agree with him that logistics are important, but it ain't 95%. It's not just be in the right place at the right time.
Okay. For the most part, right? That we need once again to want to have girls in our life, and as a result, location means you have game. So the foundation is going to be having these traits of.
Well, you need to acquire resources to afford a place in the tallest building
Fish
in
where the
Florida.
fish are.
Well, not necessarily, because it could literally be just having a job where you're around a lot of women. It could be joining the right classes in
nurse,
high school.
a male
You
nurse.
have like yeah, there's a girl in high school. And I fucking joined the fucking bullshit ass. What is it like?
Look, you can, again, you can be a male nurse all you want to. You will get opportunities with women. But if you don't know how to close the deal, you are not going to get more opportunities with women. You got to be ready. You got to be prepared. It's not just all about going where women are. There are plenty of men where women are, right? Men go to where girls are all the time, but most of those guys don't get laid. Why? Because most guys don't know how to get laid. They don't have game.
Like theater or
Yeah,
whatever
dude, oh
after
my
school.
God, choir, you
yeah,
get some
and holy
male
shit, it's like
cheerleaders.
60-40.
Totally
Yeah, to like
agree,
women to men. And like when you're in those spaces, you have to be fucking. Unless you're literally hyper autistic, you're gonna be fucking, right?
No. Don't do that, Destiny. Unless you're hyper autistic or you don't have game.
Club. The male,
Hooters?
the bartender, the guy who
Cooks?
manages the Hooters, yeah, for sure. Those guys, the what are they called? The bussers at the top end.
Oh, yeah. It's the bussers at Wendy's or not Wendy's, at fucking Denny's or whatever. fuck.
Security.
The bussers at Live, the bussers at Access, the bussers at fucking Zook. Exactly. Yeah.
Shout out to my barbacks.
Real quick, I'm
Nice,
going to these chats
stupid.
real quick, and then we'll
Go
get to
for
the next topic. So we covered the vasectomy, we covered the mating strategy, dual mating strategy. We covered divorce a bit. I don't know if you guys want to go deeper into it. Next is going to be promiscuity
Well,
for females.
sure.
All right, so we got here. Angel goes contextual amoral alpha in society, aka Mr. Do It All, level 99 stats on everything biblical time.
All right, I'll just let this run. Ryan Bark with the $40 super. Oops. Hang on, sorry. Hang on.
Bill can't be.
Ryan Bark with the $40 super chat says, thanks for the excellent analysis. No, I appreciate that very much. You know, it's interesting. Like, hang on a second. Like, when they started getting off into the weeds, because Sertain is really, like, he is fucking brilliant. Like, he is, like, as far as, like, I can't describe it, but I'm not on his level. And to be honest with you, I'm not on Destiny's level as far as, talking about this stuff. I tend to simplify it, right? And sometimes I think, well, if I simplify it, then I don't know what I'm talking about. No, I know exactly what I'm talking about. And what all of this comes down to is empirical and anecdotes. Destiny is trying to negotiate attraction. He's trying to negotiate attraction. He's trying to overcomplicate it to fit his particular narrative. In his mind, all you have to do is show up, talk to girls, and you can get laid. It does not work that way. Sorry.
Alpha because he plays Warhammer 40,000.
Sloan Fidel goes, Rolo is fake, said that all high value men exercise their options except him. Either he's lying and cheats or doesn't have options. He's two
Hey,
of mine.
let me tell you something real quick. I surround this dude with hot women all the fucking time. Go watch Access Vegas.
The
if you don't
opportunity
believe
is always
the
there.
opportunity. If Rolo were single, this motherfucker would have AIDS. Like, it's crazy.
Yes.
Like, bro, he'd have simple AIDS.
And it goes, and I'm 61. I challenge Rolo and he refused. Still on the table. I'm Italian. He's not. Okay, so
Let's
I
go.
appreciate that. Hey guys, like I said before, just to keep the debate going and everything, and we don't interrupt. We're only reading $100 and up super chats. However, every single chat will be shown on screen. So thank you guys so much for the support. So
Can I ask real quick? So do we still believe in pair bonding, or
So that goes into promiscuity.
a little bit? But it's going to be in the skill mating thing too.
I love this topic. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so-
before we do, just right quick, just to tag something on the end here. This is like when I asked you, like, do you know of any other Red Pill communities? Of course, you can name the nameless one. But
Hey, I'm interviewing her on the 24th. I just want to point out.
I want to point out also that the Red Pill doesn't begin and end with Fresh and Fit or Tate or her or myself even. Okay, I think that's what's throwing everyone off right now. So everybody sees one thing and they go, oh, that's what the Red Pill is about. Oh, it's about vasectomies. Oh my God, that's so one
Good
tweet,
point.
one image,
Good point.
one perception colors the rest of what you're talking about. So up to this point, we have a pretty good civil debate, I think so, right? But so are you getting that from us, or are you getting that from whatever podcast? Are you getting that from like a Reddit forum? Are you getting that from a Discord forum? There's so much more to it than just like podcasts, just what we're.
I feel like everything that I've expressed so far, I've heard you say almost directly. Generally, everything I've expressed in this debate, like I've looked at videos.
But again, like even the Red Pill, like I've been doing this for close to 20 years. Well, actually, a little over 20 years right now. And I'll even say right now, like it doesn't begin and end with me, and it won't begin and end with these guys.
Would you say
either.
the term is a placeholder, like the term alpha male?
Right.
Red pill is because I think people can be.
There
I
needs to be a
don't think
different term.
this may offend some people. I don't think anyone can be red pill. I think you can be red pill aware. I think that's about
Oh yeah, of course, 100%.
like the idea of all of us saying, hey,
Again, the red pill is just like alpha and beta. It's shorthand for understanding the truth about modern women and dating.
likelihood of us getting divorced, which causes us to have a prenup, is red pill aware.
Sure.
I don't think anybody can be red pill.
Yeah, that's fine. And that doesn't have to be like an exact group. I'm just trying to, I'm broadly referring to a broad set of, or vaguely referring to a broad set of ideas, collection of ideas.
But I hate when I see like fucking super racist, misogynistic shit, and I see these in the comments. I fucking hate the fact that I'm associated with the shit. I hate
Misogyny.
But at the same time, hilarious. But at the same time, I also understood like here's the thing. There's two. I meant to say this before. There's almost like the Song of Ice and Fire. There's two forces that are coming together here.
Yeah.
One of them is let's create a healthy family structure, and the other one is let's not get fucking used by these 304s.
There you go.
They're just fire and ice, just blasting each other.
Yes.
And for Sneeko, it's way further in the let's create the family structure. And for a lot of these guys who have no sexual prospects whatsoever, it's like let's not get used by the 304s. These two forces are pushing against each other, which is causing these divisions and this
This guy.
debate.
That's why it's so hard to give an elevator pitch for the red pill, because there's so much like those guys who just want to get their dick wet. Okay, then those guys who want to be on their game, maybe they want to start a family, right? Maybe they're the guys who are already in a sexless marriage, and they want to figure out how to get their wife to have sex with them again.
Or for guys who want to be in a cohabitating relationship without the state involved and doesn't want kids.
There's so much going on. Like that's the thing that just drives me insane. Is I have to be an expert on like neurology, endocrinology, sociology, anthropology, all these little subfields,
right?
Because they all in some way like dovetail into what we took red pill awareness.
Sure, that's fine.
So, real quick, before we get into the next topic, which is going to be female promiscuity and how it affects them for pair bonding and or marriage or whatever it may be, just so you guys know, June 2nd, we're going to have an event with Valuetainment and Adam Sosnick over at the Saucecast. If you guys want to go ahead and meet us live, it's going to be in Fort Lauderdale, June 2nd, 2023, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. We're going to basically have a whole event, probably like an after hours live for y'all. So if you guys want to meet us, go ahead and get your tickets.
And there's 3 tiers here.
There's 3 tiers that you guys can
General.
get in, whether it's the regular general admission at $100, the premium at $250, or the
VIP.
$500 at VIP. You guys get to meet us. I'll be there signing books. I'll bring a couple copies with me. So yeah, man, if y'all want to meet us, check us out. Go get the links in the top description. Go ahead.
And speaking of Valuetainment,
Yeah,
we will be on Jedediah Bila, both together.
We'll be on Jedediah Bila on
17th.
Wednesday. We'll be, I don't know if you are, but we're going to be on Adam Sosnick on Thursday. And then in August, Patrick Bet David is coming to Vegas to do my show. So that's
Awesome,
what we're
awesome,
gonna do.
sweet. So yeah, guys, we got a bunch of things going on. So yeah, June 2nd, guys, go ahead and get your tickets now because they probably will sell out because we got them at some pretty good fair prices for you
Yes.
guys. So let's go. So was that? Oh, and it's pinned in the comments as well, top of the description.
There you go.
So let's go ahead and go to female promiscuity. I'll let you lead it off, Destiny, because I know you have some point of extension with this.
Yeah, I'm curious. Do you think that pair bonding is real?
Yeah, so the thing is it real? It's a spectrum. So there are 5,000 species of mammals on Earth right now. 3% of them pair bond. So pair bonding is not a normal. The difference for people who don't understand the difference between the evolutionary difference between mammals
Wow,
and
I didn't know
lizards and
that.
reptiles is the development of the neocortex. Mammals have live births. Lizards do not. This
Thing is real.
Comments as well, top of the description.
This
So
is
let's go ahead and go to
interesting.
female promiscuity.
Listen
I'll
to
let you
this.
lead it
I
off,
didn't
Destiny,
know
because you have
this.
some point of extension with
Yeah,
this.
I'm curious. Do you think that pair bonding is real?
Yeah, so the thing is it real? It's a spectrum. So there are 5,000 species of mammals on Earth right now. 3% of them pair bond. So pair bonding is not a
Wow, only 3% of the species on Earth pair bonds. Wow.
normal. The difference for people who don't understand the difference between the evolutionary difference between mammals and say lizards or reptiles is the development of the neocortex. Mammals have live births. Lizards do not. They lay eggs and they don't care for their young the same way. So one of the adaptations for mammals is the fact that they care for their young. The necessity, it's the investment by the male and the female, and different mammals have different amounts of investment for the males. And so the thing is with Homo sapiens, do I believe in pair bonding? I believe that the way Homo sapiens, this is the way Dr. Buss describes it. It is a lifetime of polygamy. Polyandry. I'm sorry. Polygyny, polyandry, polygamy. No, polygyny is two women and one man. Polyamory, a lifetime of polyamory interspersed with small periods of monogamy. That's how I would answer the question. So there's not one total answer for it. Pair bonding in the Pleistocene times would be a man staying with his wife for at least 3 years until the child would be able to walk.
Right.
That part I do agree with.
Do you believe in like the oxytocin love chemical and all that?
Yes.
Okay, so here's a question that I have essentially around this pair bonding oxytocin thing. Why would women have two contraindicatory like reproductive? strategies here. Why would she have oxytocin that bonds her to a party, but also be drawn to the alpha fucks beta bucks reproductive
She's a higher reproductive cost.
Great question. So the thing,
Dude, he's about to dunk on him now. That was a setup.
she has a higher reproduction cost, but the reason why this is a relevant question is her cheating on her man does not afford her more. Remember David Buss's article. It does not afford her more children. She does not have. She could have the most children possible by aligning with one alpha male. Just to use that term, one alpha male, and then having as many children as with every 2 or 3 years. That would be for her to have the highest level of offspring. Where we're probably going to separate is I believe in the mate switching strategy. So I think she's cheating to find better sperm. He may say something to the effect of she's cheating to have sperm and then have the other beta be cucked. I don't know, but that's the answer. One of those two things
strategy. Put it that way.
Yeah, one of those two things would be the answer.
Well, the other thing is you have to define like what is reproductive success for female and the male. Okay,
there
so reproductive success for that woman is quality. I want to find a guy who's the best quality guy that I can get. He's got to be, like a...
And reproductive success for men is quantity with a dash of quality.
The 6'6", right? You're 6 foot tall. Everything else, he's got to be the best quality. Guys are scattershot. Again, it's the R and the K reproductive models, I guess. Okay.
Yes.
Men tend to be much more R selected. Women are K selected, meaning that they're going to want to be more because they have to.
Well, for the selection, I think that refers to the species. I don't
yes,
think
it does. But what I'm saying is, if you were going to like translate it from like what's men's.
Wow, this is all above my goddamn pay grade. Jesus Christ. Woo.
Reproductive strategy versus what's women, men.
These are the kinds of conversations that really educate people, man. These are the kinds of things that really educates people because, dude, I'm learning a lot here. I don't know about R's and K's.
We're ejaculate and evacuate, right? It's get in, get the job done.
Shout out MLD.
And go, because for one ejaculation we have like 1 million sperm, so it's scattershot, right? For women it's one. It's the what is it? Sperm is cheap, and
the way so it's a parental investment hypothesis. The way you said it before is there's so much less investment necessary for a man than for a woman.
Yes.
And so for a man to pass on his genetics, quantity of women would be more important than quality, and for women to be opposite.
Well, in a pragmatic sense, I'm not saying it's the most ethical. I'm not saying it's moral. I'm not saying whatever. I'm just saying in the most
right. We're not going with morals here, guys. We're not doing the whole what should or shouldn't be. No, we're going what is and what isn't. Right? This isn't about right or wrong. This is about what is and what isn't. It's yes or no. It's not why.
I understand all of that. Okay, I'm going to bring all of this crashing down, okay? I hear that we talk about this as a theory a lot. I don't think anybody is a proponent of this theory anymore. You brought up Bus, and I know that...
He says, I don't think anybody's a proponent of this theory. He doesn't know that.
You said you have contentions with Bus's current work is because he no longer believes in this kind of like dual selection strategy.
Do you believe in a mate switching strategy?
No.
You don't believe in a mate switching strategy?
I think that when I looked up data for what were the most reproductively advantageous ways to conduct oneself throughout all of human history, humans seem to practice something called serial monogamy. So we date, we break up, we date, we break up. And that is, not only is that what we tend to practice, that is the most successful reproductive strategy.
Yeah. But that's a mate switching strategy.
But it's not like you dump somebody immediately just to like upgrade, because that, I don't think there's any...
Girls do. Destiny, again, he's showing his ignorance. He's smart, but he's showing his ignorance. Listen to what he just said.
But it's not like you dump somebody immediately.
And by the way, what he just described was the mate switching strategy. So Destiny's arguing semantics here. Him and Sartain are saying the same thing.
Reproductive strategy.
Yeah. But that's a mate switching strategy.
Yes, it is.
But it's not like you dump somebody immediately just to like upgrade.
It's not like you dump somebody immediately just to upgrade. Are you kidding me? Dude, girls do this all the time. And dude, guys do it too. Not as much, but girls raft jump all the time. Law number 16 of the 49 laws of Sharpe. Get that at tsracademy.com. Law number 16 of the 49 laws of Sharpe explicitly states that most women never leave a relationship unless they start another one first. Let me repeat that. Law number 16 of the 49 laws of Sharpe, tsracademy.com. Women never leave a relationship unless they started another one first. This is how they are. Most modern women's relationships overlap. This is just how it is. Listen, and I've been branch swung to, and I've been branch swung from. That's just the way of it. So this absolutely does exist. Destiny just doesn't realize. He just doesn't know.
Because I don't think there's any evidence for that. There's no data for that.
The thing is, how do you make data for upgrade? Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
sure. So here are some things that people measure. So one thing is EPP. I think it's called extra pair partners. When people do broad research in society,
dude. All right, fine.
Gotta find like how many people are having these extra pair partners. How many people are married to the beta bucks and then fucking the alpha guys for the genetics? The highest rate you can find in the poorest of areas is 6%. But globally speaking,
what does that have to do with anything?
It's about 1 to 1.5% in almost all areas. So the idea that women are going out to fuck men and then coming back to the beta guys, there's no data to support that. Not only is there no data to support...
He said worldwide. What about the West? See, there's too much, dude. This is the problem. This is the problem with guys like Destiny. And I think you guys have... We've said this many, many times. He's trying to rationalize attraction. He's trying to negotiate attraction. He's trying to use logic. Like, attraction is not based, attraction/arousal. Attraction is based on logic. Arousal is not based on logic. Arousal is based on feelings and emotion. When a woman is attracted to a guy because he's got a steady paying job, he drives a Honda Accord, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, has a good job, benefits, 401k, retirement, that's attractive. See, when women are in their 20s, they base their romantic decisions on emotion. When they're in their 30s and they're no longer as attractive, they base their romantic options on logic. The guy is hot, he makes me feel a certain way, he gets my panties wet, I want to fuck him. That's emotion. Those are feelings. Then later on down the road, when she's 38 and no longer attractive to men who used to be attracted to her, now she's basing her romantic options on logic. But guess what? While she is looking for Mr. Logic, she's still fucking Mr. Emotional. This is just the way it is, guys. And none of these studies or statistics, none of it matters. None of it matters. Destiny has no experience with women. It's what he is trying to do. It's almost as though he is trying to, how can I put this? It's like driving a stick shift, driving a 5-speed, right? I think it's like, what is it? Like 80% of people nowadays can't drive a stick shift. I am not a part of that 80%. I learned to drive on a stick shift. But you could read how to drive a stick shift. You could read every book in the world. You won't know unless you actually drive the car. You won't know unless you actually drive the car. These people were successful in driving sticks and this and that and the third and da-da-da-da-da-da. No, Get in the fucking car and drive it. But what Destiny is trying to do, he's trying to negotiate attraction. Attraction is arousal is it's non-negotiable. You either are or you aren't, and it's not based on studies or statistics.
Report that from an evolutionary point of view, it actually doesn't even make sense if you really think about it, because human females don't actually give any outward indication when they're fertile. So, for instance, we talk about
oh my God, human females don't give any outward. What?
Makes sense if you really think about it, because human females don't actually give any outward indication when they're fertile.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Destiny? Are you kidding me? Women don't give any outward indication when they're fertile? What about their breasts swelling? Their cheeks flush? The ovulation pains? When she looks at you, the pheromones coming out of her skin. Jesus Christ, this guy is clueless. He is absolutely clueless. Guys, this dude has no idea. He has no clue. This dude just sat here and said that women do not show any indicators when they are fertile. What? Guys, this is clown world. This is absolute clown world, man. Holy God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my goodness. Gentlemen, this is your competition. This is your competition, man.
So, for instance, we talk about
the
estus stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, for instance, we talk about like cats. If I wanted to be an alpha male cat and have a fuck ton of kids, that's a very easy thing to do, because you can see when cats are in heat and they're in their estus, right? You find the cat that's screeching, and then you fuck them, and you have a kid, and then you peace, and you can get a lot of cats pregnant that way, I imagine, if you're a tomcat and you're trying to fuck a lot of cats.
Yeah.
But for human females, the only way to ensure actual reproductive success is, because they don't give any cues externally about the status of their fertility, is to just stay with one and have sex over long periods of time.
But there are still studies that show that women act differently when they are.
Thank you!
Studies that show that women have different preferences sometimes when
And they
they're
also
on different
dress
parts. Yes, but it's whether or not they act on those. And this is the importance of measuring extra partner pairings, is that you can ask.
This is all right. Now we're at the point of diminishing returns here. Now we're at the point of diminishing returns. It's just not, that's it. We're at the point of diminishing returns, man. Like, the EPP, no, dude, no, man. No, dude, no. Attraction and arousal, guys, it's not that complicated. It's really not. It's really not. It has nothing, like, dude, you can cite all the statistics that you want to. But just like Rollo said, They sell more Thunder from Down Under calendars than Dad Bod calendars. No study or statistic can thwart that. Dude, look at Tinder statistics. Dude, go and find the subreddit with the Tinder statistics. The girls versus the guys. Girls are getting, girls, oh my God, girls are getting laid a lot more than guys. Are you serious? Devin says, if you can't tell when your girl is ovulating, you aren't paying attention. Well, this explains why Destiny doesn't think that women give any outward cues as to when they are fertile. Because he ain't paying attention. Either that or he doesn't know what to look for. Holy smokes, man. Ay. Okay, I think it's, now. I guess to sort of, close the conversation out here. I definitely, how can I put this? I think I have a little bit more respect for Destiny than I did. That doesn't mean I like him anymore. But as far as all of these studies and statistics and all that other stuff is concerned, that's, I mean, you guys are saying it's cope. It could be. I don't care what it is. None of that stuff matters, man. When none of that matters, dude. Attraction and arousal is not a choice. It's just not. Like, you can say, well, 9% of people and the average notch count for men who are obese is not what? Get out of here. You got guys. So this dude just pointed out that the average notch count for a guy who's obese is 9, but then he talks about the guys who are Giga Chad looking and can't get laid. Which is it? Which is it, man? Which is it? I think in the end, this has a lot to do with the fact that he is having a lot of trouble grasping the idea that a man can make himself attractive to a woman on purpose. Like, he thinks that it's just situation, the stars align, right place, right time. No. It takes preparation and effort. You can't just show up and get laid. Oh, if you're around girls, you talk to girls, you're going to get laid. No, you won't. If you don't have game, you won't. So in the end, I think Destiny is, I don't think he's in denial. I think he just doesn't know. He doesn't have any experience. And dude, throughout this entire debate, the only anecdote he gave is, well, guys in my community are getting laid. Which we know is cap because he called them fucking losers. Losers don't get laid. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. So that was the only anecdote. But Sertain and Tomasi gains in weeks. This is my experience. These are my guys' experience. Sertain talked about his coaching clients. You can't get your black belt in women knowing the statistics. You get your black belt in women by getting on the mat, so to speak. Okay, I am now... I hope I'm not losing my voice. I don't think I'm losing my voice. I am now going to switch over to Sharpe Stream and continue season 13 of Married at First Sight. I have to, last night I had to end the stream early because Devin freaked out. There's something going on with her vision, and we thought we might have to take her to the emergency room. Thankfully, it was just, she's 46. That's just how it goes. Anytime Devin and I have whatever health issue, like sometimes like last night, I just didn't get a good night's sleep. It happens. I'm 45. It happens every once in a while. I just don't get a good night's sleep. Sometimes my knee will hurt for no reason at all. I'm 46 or I'm 45. I'm 45. I squatted the hell out of my knees in my 20s and early 30s. I'm paying the price now. That's just how it works. That's how it works. So, pardon me. All right. So yes. So again, you can watch all my live content, all my premium content live for free. Oh my goodness. You can watch all my premium content live for free by going to sharpestream.com/free/free view. Oh, I got iced coffee. /free view, and you can watch all my live content for free. And then, but again, if you want to get access to the archive, simply become a member of Sharpe Stream. Thank you guys all very much. I greatly appreciate your support and your super chats. Tomorrow, I will be reacting to the Just Pearly Things Tommy Sotomayor interview. So stay tuned for that. So at this time, I'm going to get prepared for the breakdown. Thanks for watching, guys.